Hello and welcome to Dan with the Gram on Cam, with me, the Grandmaster Kush, talking all things Amsterdam, coffee shops and everything from the cannabis community. Joining me as always, I have my co-host, the Fada Fairy.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. We take a little break, we're back at it.
It is.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Joining us today, we have Seshsational Mara.
That's the one.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get started, we have a word from our sponsors, 21 by 20, Life Summed Up, so you can pick between a snapback or a beanie.
I don't know. Can I decide later?
Yeah, okay, we'll leave it
Can I decide later?
No problem, I'll leave you to
like,
decide.
Really, can I decide later?
Yeah.
And fun fact, what did I ask? What is 21 times?
Quick maths. Yeah, when we had Tony Balboa on, at the he took one, by the end he was trying on both of them. He's like, which one do I want it all? I was like, here, just take both of them. So 21 by 20 Life Summed Up. They're not on general sale, but if you want your chance to win one, you can like and share this episode to your Facebook or Instagram and comment underneath what 21 multiplied by 20 equals.
420.
There's the answer. Right, so Mara, before we get started, I'm going to ask you 4 questions in 20 seconds to see what kind of smoker you are.
4 questions in 20 seconds.
So, weed or hash?
Weed.
Sativa or indica?
Don't care.
Rolled or in bowls?
Rolled.
And what was the first coffee shop you ever smoked in?
The Bulldog or the Bluebird?
Okay, which Bulldog?
The first one.
The old
in
church
1992, there was only one Bulldog.
Okay. When did the one in Lloyd's plane open?
Okay, no, maybe that's not
so
true.
So which
Maybe
one is the first one?
The one at the old church.
The
they have the
one
plaque saying the
yeah.
oldest coffee shop in Amsterdam.
With all the
little lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have a plaque saying we're the oldest coffee shop,
Yeah.
even though Mellow Yellow technically was, and Rusland is the first license, but somehow Bulldog say they're the first. I don't really understand.
Again, you want to go back in the history.
Yeah, give us a history lesson.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to give you a history lesson. Everybody wants to be the first at everything.
Of
and
course,
was
it's the claim to fame.
So what I know is Mellow Yellow was the first shop.
Yeah.
Bulldog, I think they were doing stuff in like a house calmer sort of situation. Like
Okay.
it wasn't really a thing,
Yeah.
but it was
Like
a
maybe
thing.
a tea house /
And
coffee shop in between, kind of.
I'm not entirely sure. Like that
Okay,
was really
yeah.
a long time ago. And the Rustland, yeah, they're all those are
They
are
have
3
the
of the
number
oldest
1
ones.
on the license. Is it lighter?
No, I was
Okay.
just thinking, man, if I start smoking now, I'm going to lose my train of thought is going to get derailed.
You'll
And then I'm
just
like,
go
well, I
on the
am going to
flow.
smoke, but what I'm going to smoke. And you know when you asked, what did you ask, weed or hash? What was the third question?
Sativa or indica and rolled in bowls.
No, sativa or indica, my answer to that would be just clean.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Okay.
I'm a recreational smoker, and
for me, especially with like a haze, when I smoke a haze, I call it an empty high. I don't notice a difference. When I smoke an indica, I can feel the difference. You know what I mean? So I don't really like sativa so much because I don't get much from it.
do not.
No, so that's why.
Indicas, you want to get
And haze, I hate the taste of, so I just avoid that.
I like, okay, so back in the day when haze first came out, that's all there was.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke
That was
it.
the new.
Well, we were smoking hash back then. We were smoking, I'm sure Mila would have talked about this, but we weren't smoking really weed that much.
Yeah, of course.
We were smoking all that really nice Afghan and Nepalese and red, like really super hashes.
Yeah.
And when the first hazes came out, I found they smelled a whole lot like the cat litter box.
Okay,
they did.
yeah,
They
yeah.
smelled really
Yeah.
cat pissy.
I've heard
And I
cat
didn't
piss is
like
a
it.
description many
Yeah.
times.
And I didn't really like it so much. But now I'm very happy to smoke a haze.
Okay.
Why? Because if you want to get potentially the cleanest Dutch grown weed, no matter where you
I
are
suppose it's
in the
the one you do the
Netherlands,
most.
find a haze.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing it for the longest,
Yeah.
and they know how to do it right. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cough.
Okay.
I'm coughing before I light this. But right now, can I ask what you guys are smoking and then tell you what I'm smoking?
I
What are you
just went
smoking?
and got some candy runs from Solo. It was literally the end of the batch. But
Can I smell it?
Yeah, it was the nicest out of the tree. They had 3, but that was the smallest nugs, but the nicest smelling. So
Yeah, but you know what? It's not super gassy, so it's okay. I have
Yeah.
to say, I'm a tangy hoe.
okay, I don't like tangy.
Yeah,
It's too sweet.
I was
again.
gonna say everybody hates on tangy. Everybody hates.
But
tangy.
it's so powerful that if you do like it, you're in for a treat. It's like Shoreline. If you like that flavour, that's going to hit you. I hate that flavour.
Is okay, but Shoreline here, like again, I don't generally like purple weeds. Why? Because they never taste right to me, with the exception of for a recent one, a very nicely grown forbidden fruit, or an old school Devil's Harvest shoreline.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
Yeah, for me, that's I always used to because I have shit taste buds, so I need it to be strong for me to taste it. Shoreline, I taste it even if it's only crossed with shoreline, I taste it.
You can taste
so
it.
I'm always like, I wish I liked this because I taste it every fucking time I smoke it. You know what I mean? And I get a Kush and I taste nothing. You know what I mean? So it's a powerful taste. So if you do like it, you're gonna enjoy it. But,
I have the same thing with gas. Any of these gassy anythings, all the Skittles, gelatos, and any cross that came from it, I don't like it. I'll smoke it. It's strong, but it all smells the same to me.
It's all a Runts gelato cross.
This is
now.
it. And we said before, I get to judge cups.
Yeah.
And when I do, if you give me, like at the moment, this one over here was the cup-winning ice cream cake from the Mediterranean Cup, but like of the 16 samples, this was a really small, low-key cup in Alicante, whatever, but of the 16 samples, like 11 of them were gas. They all smelled the same to me. I don't have a sensitive enough nose to be able to say, this is this is that, this is the other thing. I really don't. So I'm not a fan of the gassy strains.
Okay.
I'm a super fan of old school, stable genetics and anything tangy, but it has to be clean and well grown. I would rather smoke anything that was grown here versus what was let me change that. People ask me all the time, what's the best weed you've ever smoked? The best weed I ever smoke is when the grower or the breeder is sat beside me. I don't care if it's your first grow or if you're smoking with Karma. The best weed you're ever going to, it's best cannabis you're ever going to smoke is when you have a grower right beside you, because guaranteed you will be smoking the best possible of whatever there. And I've got a lot of respect for growers.
No, absolutely. We wouldn't be fucking doing what we're doing
Well,
if
no,
we
and
didn't have them.
Well, this is it. And I look at a plant and plant dies, so it's best not to let me grow anything.
No, 100%.
Yeah, we do that.
Look behind you. She gave me a plant at the fairy house. I couldn't keep that alive.
I've kept it. I've actually
going.
Yeah, I can't die though.
An aloe plant and a cactus alive in my house.
Cactus.
Yeah, come on.
That's my kind of plant.
Right?
Minimum effort.
Well, 100%. And if you take a look back to the different cannabis strains and stuff, if you take a look at how everything has evolved in the last 30 years, never mind the technology, but also the cannabis itself. I worked in a coffee shop 30 years ago.
Which coffee shop?
Well, it used to be
anymore.
called the Picasso. It does exist at the top of the Harlem
the now Green Place,
which is now a Green Place.
It went from Picasso to Amsterdam, and now it's Green Place too.
100%. So, I worked in there, and on the menu, and this was in the 90s, right? Yeah. So on the menu, we had Super Skunk, White Widow, Northern Lights, Orange Bud, and then Jamaican, Thai, Colombian, Swazi. It was all foreign stuff, but really, really good hash. So if you take a look at how...
every time you say hash, I just hear a noise through the mic every time she says hash.
I love hash, but I love traditional hash.
So, I stopped smoking tobacco a little over 10 years ago, and if there is one thing that I do miss, it's smoking a good hash joint. Yeah. So, not this joint, because this is not, but the other one has some hash in it, and you don't get the same. It's not the same thing.
We only found out when we had one of the lads from down the country. I never realised that this smoking ban will stop locals who only smoke hash going to coffee shops. Like in rural Netherlands, because you can't smoke tobacco inside anymore, most locals don't go out for a joint anymore. You know what I mean? They won't go to their coffee shop because they can't roll with tobacco. So they're actually stopping locals and regulars going to
So I kind of stopped going to coffee shops as well. And this might also be somewhat age related. Nobody really cares in Amsterdam as long as you don't have your tobacco on the table.
Yeah, but down the country they don't care.
Well, you know what? I don't want to say I'm kind of okay with that, but I'm kind of okay with that. I am. I don't like to be in places where loads of tobacco is being smoked. I don't.
Yeah. I get that as well, for sure.
If you don't smoke it, you notice it. You know what I mean?
100%.
You notice it big time. Whereas we're constantly, I wake up and I smoke, I fall asleep and I'm smoking.
Well,
so
I
I'm
don't do that
constantly,
anymore.
I'd say I do stink of tobacco.
Yeah.
I have to own it, but I do understand.
You're about to see me get super distracted.
Yes. This is when the podcast
derailed after 10 minutes.
I shouldn't
What's that one again?
This is This is a really clean.
Before you die,
This
just tell
is
us what kills you.
This is ice cream cake number 6, 7, 8. I don't know.
Okay.
It's there's an association you're on an island, on Lanzarote in the Canary Islands,
in a Canabis Club,
and one of the clubs there, and here's
can you
where,
say the club?
Yeah, Dream Green. Sorry, of course I can say the club.
I don't know.
The first time that I smoked this stuff, I was in, and it was also the first time I was in the Canary Islands.
Okay.
Was in December of 2022, and I was going to the Volcana Cup, which is a cup that's been going on there for, I want to say last year was. No, that would have been number 7. Last year was 8.
Nice.
Right, this one's been going on for a really long
That's
time.
great.
Yeah. So, legit. And the organizer, who is also the organizer of the Full Moon Sesh, which has gotten a lot bigger and all over the place and whatever, you'd have to look at other people's Instagrams from time to time.
I'm not good at that.
But so when I went down to the island for the first time, and I mean, I walk in, no matter where I am, I'm sorry. I walk in like I know everybody, and I'm the boss, even when I'm not the boss. I'm the bully boss. And out of all the, not the cup samples, because I wasn't actually judging a flower category that year. I was judging edibles and pre-rolls.
I think that's my best.
No, you wouldn't listen. Actually, you would have liked this. There was like 25 edibles, and you had to try each one.
Yeah, I'm all
dude.
about that.
On one day, it was a nightmare.
One day.
We were
we're never going to judge it on.
No, you can't do it because you're eating it all.
Yeah.
You're eating on taste.
But even if somebody gave us 25 edibles and they're all 250, 500 milligrams,
I'd eat them all.
but we're still just judging them on taste because we're not going to feel 250. We wouldn't feel 200 or 500 milligrams.
The thing is, when you have any cup that needs to be judged in a short amount of time, that's not the way I like to do things, because I don't think you can get. I mean,
no, you definitely can't.
This stuff for this little cup, there was only 16. There were only 16 samples.
But I honestly thought that was quite a nice low number.
It is a low number because you have to do it a day.
100 or out of 50.
It's like the first day when I got it, and I always, I have a book and co-judges, and I make notes, and I get very,
Nice.
But the first when I first get samples, I will take whatever it is. I'll look at it, I'll smell it, I'll poke at it, I'll do all that stuff. You get like a rating out of 10, and then I'll roll 2 joints from every strain, and then which takes forever, and I'm not high when I'm doing all of this. It's work, man. It's so much fun. You're so lucky.
No, it's a lot of work.
And then the
next
put the
work
day,
in to get the joint.
well, then the next day I know I have to smoke 16 joints, so I start first thing in the morning.
The hard work again, huh?
After the first 5, and these are small little mini half-gram joints, and I'm not even finishing all the time. I'm bucked. And then by the end of the day, so what I'll normally do is take the top half of the ones I thought were the best. So in this particular case, none were disqualified. I've disqualified things based on. No, dude, if you have to smoke this much and you know something's going to be shit, right? I'm not smoking it.
No,
I don't
100%.
have time for that. I'm sorry.
No, I've heard
With
people.
Respect to the growers,
sometimes they
I'm
won't
not doing
even.
it. No.
They'll look at it, smell it, and go, "I'm not even smoking that. I know already that's not a winner." You know what I mean? I'm going to stick to things that have a chance.
I'm not going to do that. And then. So I want to say on the Saturday I smoked 16 joints. That was brutal. And then on the Sunday, that second joint, the ones that I say, okay, these were good and worth smoking a second time, then I smoke that. And I usually do this with other people.
Okay, so it's like elimination stage, just kind of, you know what I mean? Break it down. And these go through to the next round. Let me try these again.
And so, for example, for this cup over here, there was no clear winner. So generally, if you're smoking everything for the first time, there's always 1 or 2 where you're like, wow, that's fucking fire. So there was none of that in this. They were all really, really good. This was one of the most fun, most chilled out, coolest cups. But you know what? I'm bouncing to a month ago, and I want to go back to December 2022 because of this. It will all come. I will tie this all together.
You have notes.
Watch
We're
this.
prepared.
I don't need the notes. I was going to say I will tie this all together. So first time on Lanzarote, the best cannabis that I smoked from any of the clubs happened to be this ice cream cake from Dream Green. Now this is 2 years. What was it? 2022. Not 2 years ago. Well, anyways, it was and really, really nice. It was really good. And I remember, well, again, bullying again. I was like, mate, I'm not going to give you 16 euros a gram for this. So I will give you 10 euros a gram for it out of respect. Thank you for the bag. Out of respect. Yeah, listen, and again, you want to talk old school, I don't care. Any grower friend of mine, anyone, would never charge me more than 10 euros a gram, and I would happily pay it. But I will not go into a coffee shop and spend 15, 16, 7. I won't do it. I'd rather not smoke.
I don't think any strain is worth that.
No,
I don't think there is a strain ever that's worth that much money.
You know, like...
And that's like the bottom of the top.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Never mind
And they're all
30s and
mids,
40s.
they're top shelf mids, but the whole point is, so in 2023, this same strain that they've been growing, right? Because every time, there's a new strain every 4 minutes. Scientifically, none of this is possible. It's not. Let's not get into that. That's a whole other discussion. But what was so what happened with this Mediterranean Cup is the top 3. My top 3 picks. This was one of them. It was not a top pick because there was no wow factor. It was really nice. It was really clean. It was really good grown. And I have to say, see, this is why I can't get fucking high. I get distracted. What I liked about it is rather than coming up with new this and new that and new the other thing, they're being consistent with one
perfecting
strain. They're doing it really good. They're giving it different numbers. This is our ice cream cake 4. This is our ice cream cake 6. This is but it's all from the same genetics, just grown in different batches with different like whatever.
But you prefer even the honesty of the different numbers.
Our other attempts.
Instead of being like, because
like, it was great number 2.
I called them out though. I did because
shocker.
Well, no, but I'll tell you why. Because I know the guy really well, and I called him out because the samples. I also swiped a bag from him afterwards. Good, you want? Give me a bag of that. I'm bringing it back to Holland. Thank you very much. No problem. He does it anyways.
Yeah.
But the batch that was in the bags was not the cup batch. It really wasn't. And I said to him, I'm like, it's not the cup batch. He's like, well, yeah, it was, but it was vac sealed and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, you full of shit, mate. It was not.
Saving their best for the club.
Which is okay. Which is 100%.
Put their best foot forward. Like,
100% okay. And again, I've got mad respect for growers. I don't want to say I don't have mad respect for trappers, but again, when you're talking about some of this super fancy 35 a gram, Cali, whatever,
gimmicks.
It's not that it's gimmicks; it's very cheap over there
it's
now.
What I always say, the stuff.
When I'm hearing the prices in the States, I'm like, wait, what?
And then, like the stuff they're sending over here is not their best either. It's not their A grade.
They don't have to. Of course it isn't.
This is what I mean.
What you have to remember is what you're paying for is never mind that a coffee shop needs. They need to make money. You've got staff and rent and blah, blah, blah. So if they're doubling the prices, that's fine. But those fancy little Mylar bags that you're buying off
fucking hate
Joe, okay, all right, we're not going to get into that. That you're buying off Joe Trappy McTrap on via the gram or on one of these Telegram things, it don't matter. You have to understand that the number of people whose hands it's passed through that start with the grower who's lucky if they're getting a couple of euros a gram that's going to plug number 1, to plug number this, to shipping. And everybody needs to have a drink, you know? Like, I get that, but it winds up
that's it wasn't even the best to begin with. And then it's gone through all this, you know what I mean? And you're paying triple 100%. What they're paying for something that turned.
100%. And then you have to pay for the lost packs. Because you think everything is getting through. It is not.
Of course not.
No. And things get lost. And it's just the game has changed. And the other thing that's happened is... at the moment, anyhow, coffee shops are supplying themselves from imported weed because people are importing it rather than growing it. It's too big of a risk to grow over here. The electricity, the energy.
They're weighing up the options, which is more risky, you know what I mean? Grow it or lose it on the way over.
And you have great growers in every country. I can tell you that right now. I've been to... I mean, all right. You want to play the top countries for growers? In Europe, man, the UK has got
I've heard that for
fire. I'll tell you, if there's
especially
one
for
thing
their
I
medicals.
miss about Brexit, about before pre-Brexit, is getting things sent over to Amsterdam from the UK. No, 100%. There's some fire growers in the UK, fire growers in Spain. There's good growers there.
But do they grow more outdoor in Spain, or would they still grow indoor?
You know, I guess it's going to depend where you are
in
Spain.
Suppose,
and, you know, when it's 45 degrees outside, why would you be growing inside, right?
Well, can it be too hot as well for growing, or...?
it's also about once you cut it and you have to cure it. And this is why so much of this North American, and being Canadian, I'm going to big up Canadian cannabis as well, but you've got different conditions for curing it and storing it, and what winds up happening over here, because everything is so illegal, growers have to chop, dry, and trim,
as
or
quick
chop,
as they can.
trim, and as quick as possible.
Every day
because
is more
your best
risk.
friend and your neighbor is about to, you know, so there is that, and that's a here we go. I get a fucking stupid when I smoke. This is why I try not to smoke cannabis all day, every day.
But
I'm
yet you
already
do.
confused. But it's definitely like, I think if I was putting together a growing team, I'm sounding like you, together. If I was putting together a growing team, there's some great growers in North America. 100%.
Yeah.
But I would pick a whole bunch of. I would pick some Spanish growers. I would pick some UK growers. I would pick some German growers. Really, there's definitely some good Dutch growers as well. I would pick an international team.
Yeah.
100%.
Nice. It makes.
But
Because
that's
if you're going to do it, especially because it is so legal everywhere, if you're still going to do it and have that passion, you have to have passion.
Oh,
You do.
yeah.
You have to
You do.
love
You do.
them girls.
100%.
Them plants
You
your
do.
babies.
And I think that
And the knowledge.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
It's-
sure.
The fails.
I'll give you-
the fails are the biggest learners.
They're the
You know what I mean?
learners.
So I'm going to give you a perfect example. In this last cup, or the ice cream cake one, my top 3, one of them, number 10, nobody else liked it. Like, the judges scored it at the bottom.
No way.
With the ones that I wouldn't smoke. And I was like, and I smoked this number 10 again with the guy who would have won the cup from Stank Farms with his Cap Junkie had he entered it. Oh, that was fucking fire.
Oh, he didn't enter it?
Stank Farms, no, I want to say the guy is, no, he didn't. He was there judging it or just being there or whatever. But, oh yeah, Stank Farms, you ever get your hands on one of those purple bags? Fire cannabis. His strain would have won, but I had him.
And where are they based?
He's based in Spain, but I want to say he's not from Spain.
Yeah.
And High Stoned Media, who is a German influencer and whatever. So I smoked with the two of them. They're both growers. They both know their shit. And I was like, boys, it is 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. I need some help. And I smoked the top 3, I smoked top 5 with them because I wanted other opinions. Everybody liked this number 10. And I said, okay, great. And then I got all the results and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But then I was redeemed. Why was I redeemed? So, what was the strain called? That was quite good. The strain was called Ipanema, right? Ipanema.
That's
And the people who entered this, I don't want to get this wrong. I'd have to look at I don't want to get the wrong ones if it's green. Anyways, they won second in the ice category with, guess what? Ipanema.
No way.
100%. So look, in order to make good hash, whatever it is, or good extract or good concentrate, you have to start with good flour.
Yeah, of course.
You do. But some flour makes better hash than it does flour.
Yeah.
So what I felt right there, I get a little shiver every time, is this was good. I liked it. I liked the terp profile. It was like, it smoked clean, it smoked good, and it deserved to be in the top with this one. It simply did.
But
for
no
my
one else
taste.
agreed?
But no one else agreed. And then when it
The
came in
hash would.
second in the hash, I thought, well, see, there you go.
Yeah,
You have
there
to
was
start
something
with
there,
good flour.
like,
There's definitely something there. Like, I'm not
That's
crazy.
crazy.
No, it
I've
just
been-
needed to be more.
It just
pungent.
it was just my taste buds took it as I only smoke flour, literally. So, anyways,
Do you want to drink that?
I have my
you
sippy
want
cup
that?
with coffee
Well,
in
now
it.
it's so dry.
And I have some water. I have things.
I didn't want to be rude and just take one for
No,
myself.
it wouldn't be rude. That's
I
fine.
think we'd say you're from Canada, so what's the legalization like since
Do you really want to get
2018?
into that? No,
Well, I'd like to know what it's.
I will. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this short because so I was back in Canada for the first time in a bunch of years in 2019, and that was a year after legalization. I am from the capital of Canada. Wait, without looking, do you know what the capital of Canada is?
Ottawa.
You're smart. Very good. No American ever gets that unless they're into
Do you know
ice
what
hockey.
I do? I've done a few quizzes.
Have
We've
you?
done a quiz night, and I always use Ottawa and Canberra. No one ever gets Canberra for Australia.
Australia,
so
yeah.
they're two of the most.
Yeah.
And everyone always thinks Rio de Janeiro is the capital of Brazil, where it's Brasilia.
True.
Yeah.
I was going to say, people think Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands. It is not.
Wait.
Is it Den
Wait,
Haag?
No, Den Haag is the capital for the.
You get your phone out
I
and
know,
Google
we'll do it
this.
later.
I do it
always thought
later.
it was
1 minute. You sure?
You know, I believe you for now, but I always thought this Den Haag was the crime, the head of the what's the fucking or crimes court or whatever it's called.
That's their main headquarters.
No,
That's
but
the
that's the international. That's the that's the international.
I didn't know it was the capital.
It is. I think it is, unless I'm wrong.
I don't know
Common-
either.
common
That was a
sense.
guess.
No, it's not a guess. I think Den Haag is the capital of the
Okay.
Netherlands.
Because I know, but it's what you're saying with there's the main court there.
Yeah,
there's a European Parliament or something or other. The
it's where they
European
trial
Court,
like war
all
criminals
the
and all
bad,
that bad
all the
shit.
bad boy. We're not going to talk
Yeah.
about. We're not going
here
to
for
use that 3-letter word today. Thank you very much. What I will
But,
say about it is the world is fucked.
Yeah.
And if Mother Nature decided to wipe us all off, guess what? As
The
humans,
world would be better off.
in general, we're not.
Yeah, but the
nice
world
to
would be
each
a better
other.
place.
It'd be gone.
We're
so-
just a disease on this
Just
planet.
like
Like,
a restart.
This
Yeah.
is it.
Earth
There needs to
deserves
be.
a
There
restart.
definitely like
Back
sometimes
to
your
fungi.
modem. I was going
Yeah.
to say sometimes your modem needs a hard reset.
Yeah.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
as
there
well.
was
Okay.
a movie back in the day where they literally shut all electricity and sent the
Brilliant.
whole world back to the
Brilliant.
Stone Age. kind of
Brilliant.
thing.
Could you imagine that?
Stuff.
That'd be
A
fun.
few planes will fall out of the sky. But
Oh,
apart
I
from
hope
that,
so.
yeah,
No.
like,
I don't want that.
Well, we don't want that to happen, but there will be casualties.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Canada.
Back to
my
Canada.
home and native land. You know, I always swore when Canada legalized, if it ever did, I would move back
straight
and I would open
That's
up my
what I
own
keep
thing.
saying about Ireland.
All right, well, I never did it. So, and you know what? Big picture, here's what happened. So, in the beginning of legalization, they allotted retail licenses to only a certain number of people based on the demographics of the city. So, a city
Okay.
like Toronto, right, and it was separated per province. So, federally, cannabis was legal. You can pay taxes.
That's the opposite to America.
Exactly, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So, but we also have the way the provinces are run. I don't think is the way the states are run.
Okay,
Again,
yeah.
let's not talk about politics.
Yeah. Geography and politics.
Let's avoid that as well. So, a city like Ottawa is small. You know, you're talking about 1 million people. They were given 3 licenses. Now, I went into all 3.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not saying that there weren't a whole bunch of underground places.
Yeah,
but
of
again,
course, but-
if you don't have access to your Instagram or your underground
Yeah.
market,
But if
anyways,
you want to get rid of underground, open more real
you
ones.
can't.
know what I mean?
No, wait, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
All right. So what I did in 2019 is I went into all three of the different locations, retail locations. One of them was above a place where I used to box, which was kind of cool,
Yeah.
considering, right? And
Would've been nice
one
after
of them,
workout.
it was very
Box
funny.
and
Wait,
blaze.
one of them was on, and I took my sister into it. She was shocked in the first one. She walked in, you know, and I bought a joint. It was my first legal Canadian joint in
Nice.
2019 was shishka berry. I do. I remember. You know, it's really funny. I can't remember. Anything.
How you got here?
No, I do remember that, but I remember certain joints. I
Yeah.
totally remember, and it was shishka berry, and I was very excited. And my sister was shocked. She was like, "But it looks like an Apple store." And I looked at her and I was like, "This is legal
Yeah.
drug dealing.
What,
What
you
did
want to
you
have a load of
think?
guy in hoodies
You
in
were
a corner?
gonna slide some money to Guido, and the bucket was gonna
They
get pulled."
install blinking lights in the fluorescent lights, so it just makes it more scary.
She was super surprised. Anyways, I went into.
And is it that level, Apple Store level?
Well,
Like
this
that
one,
magic?
it's
A chemist,
not, again,
nearly.
this was one of the first ones. It's just they had iPads and they had little things where you could look at all the samples through a magnifying. It was in a CD. It was a kind of a CD. It was a CD.
Okay, yeah.
Pardon the pun. It was a CD kind of place, but it was quite impressive to see. You could walk
Yeah.
into a shop
Yeah.
and buy. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
So I went into the other two. One of them, again, that near the boxing place, which was in kind of like a yuppified or gentrified area of town, but it was nice. And then I cornered the owner of the third one, this Fire and Flowers, and they had franchises. I cornered the owner because I didn't know anything about anything. I made him talk to me about all of this for an hour and a half and explain to me everything. Oh yeah, I'd wrecked his head. It was good. I'd forgotten everything, but that was.
She remembers what strain she bought.
Staring at him
She remembers
I
the joint she
did,
bought,
I
but the
did.
rest she forgets.
But the rest, whatever. I can check it out online later on. So that was super cool. But then, after the weekend in Ottawa, I went to Toronto to a big expo. What was it? No, it was the old one. Was it treating yourself? It was a lift expo.
Okay.
That's it. And do you know how happy I was? You really need to look up who Remo, the urban grower, is. You really need to know who this man is.
Okay.
I've heard of the urban grower.
He is a legend. He's my stoner bro, Remo. He's a legend, but I couldn't wait to get to Toronto because then I would be smoking the fire flowers as opposed to the retail bought things.
Yeah.
So here's how they set it up. Now, again.
So he's in Toronto, I'm guessing?
No, he's in Vancouver, but everybody was at this big expo.
Okay,
It was like a Spanabis, but in Toronto.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Cannabis.
Cannabis, kind of funny. Here's the crux of all of this, right? I can't hate on anybody who supplies cannabis because I smoke cannabis.
Yeah.
I cannot. You have to
Lord's
have the
work.
underground. You have to have whatever. But the Canadian government are the biggest, douchiest trappers that exist. I'm telling you, the way that they have set this up, all right? You can hate on politicians, you can hate on Justin Trudeau, but he legalized this. The money that they're making is stupid. Why? Because you pay all the taxes. So I go into the shop to buy a little bit of cannabis, and there's tax on that. Each province can be supplied only by their own cannabis thing. So I'm going to talk about Ontario because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
First of all, I will mention Quebec. Quebec, which is the French part, has their own entire set of rules. I don't know them. I
They're
don't
like the
understand
French,
them. I'm
they're
not getting it.
different.
No, that's it. But the way Ontario works is you have the OCB, the Ontario Cannabis Board. What does the Ontario Cannabis Board do? They regulate everything. So all these different locations, all these retail locations, and I'm going to point out, I was back in for the holidays for Christmas and New Year's this year for the first time since 2019. So it had been four and a half years, literally. Yeah, it was a while. And everything had changed.
Yeah, it's so
They
dramatic.
let everybody, there was no more 3 licenses. Everybody
Free
can
for
have a
all.
license.
Okay.
It
And
was.
was it licensed to sell or licensed to grow?
No, I'm getting to all
okay.
this. All right, I'm getting. You're jumping ahead of me. You're too quick, and I'm baked. Told you I shouldn't have done this.
You'll be
Every time
fine.
I
We'll
do
get
a
there.
pod-
We've loads of time. We're in no
Loads of
rush.
time. You're gonna have to cut this into 2 episodes by the time I finish talking. Anyways, so when they turned it into a bit of a free-for-all, but let me explain to you how the system works.
Yeah.
So the Ontario Cannabis Board, all these retail locations are supplied by one place, the Ontario Cannabis Board. So you can have 100 different shops. They only all have access to exactly the same different strains, the same different everything.
Okay.
Now, how does the Ontario Cannabis Board get their cannabis? Well, they get them from LPs, licensed producers. All right, so you've got a farm or you've got a whatever. This is a part where but this is messy because there's a lot of rules and regulations for how and what and certification and I don't know. So these LPs, which have been big places, I think now they're bringing in more smaller craft ones, which is great.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
That's what I'm about.
No, which is great, and the rest of them supply. Now, here's the thing. The government taxes everything. So as a consumer, as an end user, you're walking in and paying whatever the GST, HST, VAT is of however many percent. When the shop goes to buy their cannabis from the OCB, they're paying taxes on that.
Yeah.
When the licensed producers are supplying it, there's more taxes and more permits and more everything. And I looked into this.
Yeah.
I looked into the whole thing, and it is unbelievable what the government is pulling out of this. However, much like what's going on in Europe right now and in a lot of places, they outgrew their demand. Their supply outgrew their demand. There's only a finite number of people that are smoking.
Yeah.
So you can come up with as much cannabis and as many different products to smoke the cannabis in, but you're not growing exponentially as users as products.
Because they still have it taboo. I think if they dropped how taboo cannabis is, more people would be open to trying it. They'd have more.
That for sure.
Okay, but the
but
thing
also
is
it's like their first few years, like we just keep growing. We don't know how much we need. You know what I mean? It's
they hold on a second here. Wait a minute, because lots of it wound up here. So when you
of
talk
course,
about
there's
taboos,
Canadian menus everywhere.
this is a
here.
very, very interesting point about the taboos. So one of the things that I liked best when I went in to one of these retail locations in 2019 is I was not on the old end of the people in there. It meant that, like, normally when you're younger, you have access to school and work and clubs, and you have access to a dealer or whatever.
A friend of a
but
friend.
you get, exactly. The older you get, you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So the fact that people who were older could go in
Yeah,
without a
that's great.
stigma and get themselves some cannabis is epic.
Yeah.
Now then,
Comfortably, safely.
Yeah, it's
well,
like-
safely, that's it. So
We-
whatever it is, the weed might not be, I mean, it's top shelf mids, it's clean, it's whatever. It's nothing fancy, but anybody can go get it.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other interesting thing. The other interesting thing is me going to smoke a joint while staying at my sister's place. My sister and her husband are quite straight. They're very straight people. They're not done, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm going for a walk. And my brother-in-law, a man of very few words, is like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going for a walk." He's like, "Why?" Because you don't go for a walk anywhere in suburban Canada.
Yeah.
That's just weird, right? And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to smoke a joint." And he just looked at me and he was like, "Why?" And I said, "Because I'm going to smoke a joint." And he said, "Yeah, you smoke it here." And I froze. I was like, "What do you mean smoke a joint here at your house? That's crazy."
Yeah.
What? And I said, "Yeah, but," he's like, "What? It's legal." And I looked at him and again, no, but this is what I mean about the taboos and things
Yeah, no, for
changing,
sure.
right? And legal. And I was like, but what about what your neighbors would think? I don't care. Okay. Superb. So for the first time, with much trepidation, I lit up a joint. 100%, absolutely. You know, it was shocking. I couldn't believe it, and I thought, well, that's kind of cool. And then I pulled out a vape pen. I don't use those anymore, but one of those little cartridge things that I had brought from, I said, and I was sucking on it, and I was like, he's like, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's a vape pen." He's like, "Well, what's in it?" I was like, "Well, it's kind of oil." And he's like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Well, I might have brought it from." "No, you can't do that." That slipped right there.
That's
Ooh,
how
yeah.
some
He was
people.
not happy about that.
Once
No,
you're
no,
told you
no,
cannot do that, that's a switch in their
No,
head.
he
That's
didn't like that. No, but importing it was not allowed. That's why I got into trouble, which is absolutely fine. Now,
100%.
we
But it's the
Yeah, how could you not just see the?
a few years later, and said brother-in-law
Is
has
smoking.
been known to take a little puffety puff on a vape pen, or maybe him and his buddies are going to have a little weed gummy or two.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. And you know what?
It's so normal now.
I
especially.
love that
Let it
that
happen.
is
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah.
I love that people who, if it's going to prevent people from going out and getting trashed on other things.
I've seen
you
a
know,
lot of
to
people
each his
are
own,
like a lot of people aren't.
Switching.
Yeah, they're not. Younger people aren't drinking as much, and they're starting with either weed or
Taking smart
mushrooms,
drugs.
more natural
which is
drugs.
beautiful.
Sure, which
Yeah.
is great. And you know
If
what?
that
Look,
kind of fixes
but this is what I mean.
Hopefully, yeah.
Now, when I went back this last time, I was on a tolerance break. I took an 82-day THC tolerance break from the winter solstice until the day I landed in Barcelona for Spanibus. I did that. 82 days, no THC at all. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good, and we're going to do that again before Berlin. Last time, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I was not smoking when I was back. That was not going to happen. It was probably a good thing, because I was staying in suburbia for a bunch of the time, and all I would have done, oh man, it would have been bad. I would have smoked all the things, and
But it
I
would have made it
eaten
so
all
much
the
better.
things, and I would have smoked all the things. But I did make it a mission to go into a whole bunch of these new retail
of course.
licensed shops, and I did it both in the suburban areas and in town and in different areas. And I want to say I went into 7, 8 of them, and there's different levels. There's ones where there's like a chain across all of Canada. There's got 180 of them. And then there's one that has 40 only in the province of Ontario.
Yeah.
And then there were a few little local independent ones.
Yeah, nice.
And then there was one that was really for for cultivate, like really for people who were cultivating connoisseurs. Anyways, I went into all of them, and the thing is, like I said before, you can only get what the Ontario Cannabis Board offers. You have no choice.
So it has to go-
everybody,
Even if it's a high level spot, a little craft
Doesn't
spot,
matter.
they're all still.
They
So all has to go in there and come back out of there.
Okay.
What winds up happening though
it's
is
the atmosphere.
some of these, well, there is no atmosphere. They absolutely assassinated and again This is me being a little bit older, so I wasn't going looking for fun sessions or
Yeah.
whatever.
No,
but
you
it's
want
just quality.
there was none of that. Absolutely, you go in, you buy, and fortunately for me, the cute young boys working in these places were more than willing to talk to me about things. And what was the most I don't know if shocking is the right word, but you take this what was it called? Canacabana, something like that, right? With 180 locations. What they're doing is they're putting very, very small margins on the cannabis. So if I have a choice of going into big block store A and paying, say, $5 a gram for something, or going to local corner and supporting a local business, but he's charging $10 a gram.
Yeah, because he's trying to survive.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I'm still going to go buy. So what
And
they've
there's no
gone
choice.
and done,
There's no. Yeah.
what they've gone and done is there's a bazillion of these locations, but a lot of these places are making literally next to no.
It's like the difference between a souvenir shop and Albert Heijn. If you want a can of Coke, you know what I mean. You got to pay $3.50 or 70 cents. You know what I mean?
No, but it's not like that. It's more that the bigger corporate. Dude, I get high and my train of thought just goes out the window.
You're good.
You get the big corporate people that are, they don't care. They got 180 locations. If they're making $2 a gram, they don't give a shit. But what they're doing is they're driving
all
the prices.
€2.
So how are you going to operate any kind of retail location on a 20% margin?
No, there has to be choice. There has to be variation. You know what I mean? There's no point in.
If you can
because
walk
it makes
in,
it easier for the craft people. If they have friends that are growing or
you could
you're
walk
not getting
into
high price.
one of these places and $100 Canadian, which is what, 12 euros? Okay, 70 euros was getting you. No, it feels like it. Trust me, it feels like it. Is you're getting a full 28 gram ounce for $100 for 70 euros. That's at retail. It's not nice though. I mean, it is nice, but this is it's nice if you want to smoke an ounce of cheap, clean enough.
Yeah,
but
so
it's not enough if people need to make some money.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean?
I
I
know
don't
what you mean,
find.
for the small people, they can't survive.
Oh, it's good for us, not for them, is what you're saying.
Well, that's the thing, right? And
I'm trying to see the downside there for a
of
second.
course, it's not a
Just being
downside for you,
selfish.
but it's a downside for and what's
someone that's
happening.
trying
No,
to
for the
start
industry,
and
yeah,
that
for
has
sure.
passionate about it. It's
Well,
just a business.
what's happening now is all these big grow locations and these big companies, they're starting to farm other things other than cannabis. They're starting to grow fruits, and because they cannot make money with cannabis and tons. This is something.
But again, is it go back to when they didn't know how much they needed, so maybe more people tried to grow than was needed to grow, and
100%.
then the people that weren't good enough, or
No,
it kind of
it's not like that. It's not.
when it starts. It's
But you think
It's
that
not.
people aren't buying it and they're staying black market?
It's okay.
And
This
that
is the
too
thing.
as well,
The black
maybe
market is
Maybe
always
if they're
going
not
to
happy,
exist.
they might be getting it for $5 or a G handy
like
in
even
and out
a lot of
shop.
Americans don't
But
go
if-
to dispensaries. I've
No,
heard.
they'll
Yeah,
go to
they're
they'll go to
buying-
their local. Okay, so it's the same thing.
That's
but
what
again,
I think, they're not
there
bringing in
are
quality.
so many locations. You don't need
Yeah.
to begin with. If you've got a population of 1 million
Overcorrected,
people,
like
well, this is it. If you've got a population of 1 million or under 1 million people, take a percentage of how many people actually consume cannabis in a place.
and on the
I'm going
daily as
to-
well. Like some
well,
people only smoke it once a week, or
you
would
should
buy
be
a bit,
able
would
to-
last them a week. Like they're not all
Yeah.
like us. You
No,
know what I mean?
well,
Like
you should be able to break down almost everything in life to this 80-20 rule. So let's go with, it's very high when it's not correct, but let's go with 20% of a population is going to be trying or consuming cannabis on some level over a 10-year span.
yeah.
If your population is super low, you don't need all these places. You know, you're always going to go you're always going to go show love to your own dealer before you're going to go into a retail spot. Or maybe you're going into a retail spot because your dealer is the one that opened the retail.
Yeah,
Who the hell
that's it.
knows? The amount of
100%,
rules that go into how this has been set up.
Yeah.
And of course, I was going to break my tolerance break. The first thing I was going to break it with was some of the Canadian weed,
Okay.
because naturally I brought a few joints back. How could I not?
Yeah.
Right? It had to be done. They're not bothering you for a few joints, and I brought back. What did I bring back? The first thing that I brought back, or I wasn't going to bring anything back. Sorry. Sorry, are we bored yet? The last night that I was in Ottawa, I was out with friends, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go into one last place. And it was a really good little local cool thing, and I thought, you know what, because I'd been debating, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to bring a few joints back. They're not looking for my gray-haired, they're not looking for me.
I forgot they were there.
Yeah,
sorry.
do you know what I mean? It was in there. I mean, whatever. And I bought 3 half-gram joints of lime mojito. And then the other one was a sherblato. I remember that. I have no
100%.
It is. I do remember that. And those were going to be. And there was one other one that I had bought that I want to say I gave to the real Uncle Kush. He's brought me some joints before, so I thought, here, try some Canadian flower, eh? And but these were the first joints that I smoked in Barcelona. At Canabis, or outside Canabis, and they were nice, but it's, again, any legal grown cannabis has got, it's missing, I don't know if it's missing the passion, I don't know if it's missing the smaller thing,
it's a bit corporate feeling.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
like
not
your
sure
fruit
about
and
that.
veg. You buy it from Albert Heijn or you buy it from a farmer.
Yeah. The little market across the road.
You taste them apples.
Sure.
You taste
There's a difference. There's 100% difference.
That's what I think is going to happen with the cannabis.
So,
like Devil's Harvest. You say about his certain shoreline.
Wow.
There'll be a different way.
No, but I was going to say Devil's Harvest. Here's what I know about that, and of all the, Dara is like a supremely great grower.
Yeah.
I smoked so much weed that he grew.
Shoreline,
really,
passion.
Rolex, Shoreline.
Yeah.
What else was there? But this has to do with the grower. I
Yeah.
mean, and one thing
I've said about the imports, I go, we won't need Cali if the likes of Devil Harvest could grow legally, or you know what I mean?
All
Because they would
these
grow
small
some of the best weed in the
So
world.
have you smoked any of the weed experiment weed yet? Has anybody brought you
Yeah,
some?
we had them on in the last episode. We had one of the guys brought it from Tilburg, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He brought 5 or 6 different packs,
Yeah.
and then on the same episode we had a guy from England who brought over 7 different types of English medical.
Yeah, okay.
So we've
So
done a
it's
whole
interesting.
comparison.
The UK medical was better, but the UK medical isn't from UK.
I was going to say,
It's from
I'm sorry,
Macedonia,
not
Brooklyn.
grown in the UK.
Yeah.
Which I found mental because I remember years
Some of it's
ago
Canadian.
hearing that they had
Yeah.
one of the biggest.
They're shipping out to other
dude,
countries.
again, dirty,
So they're
dirty,
all
dirty.
Yeah.
They're all making their quid already
super
on
dirty.
it.
And I mean, here's the thing.
There's
when
planes
I'm
full of legal
know
weed
what I
and illegal weed at the same
Going into
fucking
the same
Stop.
way. It's
So,
mental.
But this is one of the reasons that when I get an opportunity, I mean, I make a joke, I look at a plant, it dies, whatever. But I also spent years working for a plant nutrient company. I've been around a lot of plants for a lot of years. When I have the opportunity to ask the grower, what did you use? Okay, I can taste it was grown in soil, but that number 10, for example, I thought it was grown in living soil because it didn't seem 100% clean.
So you could tell
but
that?
For some things, 100%.
Yeah, wow.
For some things, you can. Like, my taste buds are not sensitive for the flavor, but they are like, so somebody will mistake. Everybody talks about white ash this, white ash that, the other thing.
That's a myth.
Okay, but again, some of it is and isn't. The thing is, when you grow in living soil, you're growing in living soil. There's no flushing living soil.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's, you cannot do that. So the way that it'll burn is it might burn similar to something that people would think isn't necessarily clean.
Okay.
Which is why it's handy
the
to have
untrained
the
eye.
grower.
Yeah.
But this is it. What did you grow it in? What is this?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I'm
Why
interested.
is it burning like
yeah,
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Or-
I'm interested. And I'll give you an honest opinion every day.
Yeah,
of the
no,
week.
for sure.
I will tell you if there's a throat tickle at the back.
Yeah.
That's generally, we could have flushed just a itty bitty bit longer, Chief. If it doesn't, another thing that's really important is how it grinds.
Okay.
Is how it grinds, how
that
it burns.
I've heard.
You
If
see how
it's
evenly this is?
chunkier
But yeah.
Or if it's thinner. I
More
saw
dust.
someone did a post with same flour, joints rolled. I think they even used cones, but they grounded the weed to
Differently.
different textures,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that makes a difference
It does.
because it's the airflow.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a piece of wood.
I remember
So-
grinding it too. Somebody gave me an
so-
electric grinder and I
Why
ground it
actually-
Pick
too
one.
much.
I can't follow the two of you.
Sorry.
Or as chaos as yourself.
But you see, here's the thing. I can shut you both down. They're afraid. Are you afraid? Are you a little afraid? Everybody's
I'm afraid of the
This is
hedgehog.
good. I would be terrified of the hedgehog,
If that
man.
comes out,
The
we're
thing
grown.
shits all over the place all the time. You see, now that we go, I have to. The train of thought has
Yeah,
once
that-
again.
you
Before
got-
you
Oh, yeah.
go to the notes, can I ask you, Jared, do you know Mark Emery?
Do I know him
Yeah.
personally? No.
No.
Have I met him? Yes.
Yeah.
Have I crossed paths with him?
Jody?
100%. Again, cross paths,
Yeah.
but I'm not one of these, like, as much as I sometimes run in circles of people that
Yeah.
are well known. Well, you wouldn't know them because
No.
you don't know anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I
That's
don't follow
shocking.
most of the people,
No,
but Mark
no.
Emily, someone I heard of like 15 years ago. My friend put me onto the Prince of Paw. He used to send seeds. He got locked
He's
up
a
for sending
big
seeds to
ol'
America and all
activist,
this.
whatever, you know, like
Um,
again, there's I don't know him,
So, yeah.
and I don't know enough about him.
I
I
just
know
thought you
activists.
Canadians all knew each other.
All right, listen, you can fit all of Ireland,
Yeah, no, for
literally,
sure.
onto
I don't think
Vancouver
I've heard
Island.
an Irish put that
You
back.
know, like,
How
oh
doing?
man, shall I tell you about the first time I was in Ireland?
Well,
Shall I
these
tell
were
you
also
about
stoners. I said maybe they know each other. You know what I mean?
Listen,
But you have met them, so it was
in-
close enough.
Do you remember many years ago in Ireland they had that fela? You would not have been born yet, but that big fela, the trip to Tipperary.
Yeah, yeah,
The
trip to Tip, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I went in 1992.
No way. I've only heard that. I was only 7
yeah,
then, so.
Of course, but here, this you want to talk
You've
about
ever heard
finding
Trip to Tip? You'd hear
No,
like
there's no way.
people talk
This
about it
was-
on radio.
Yeah,
and
this
stuff.
was this
But I know
was
the Fela.
Yeah,
Like
it
I've
was-
played
but,
in the
okay,
Fela,
but the
like
Fela just
hurling.
means festival,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But this was the
trip
Fela.
to Tip, it
This
was-
was a trip to Tip, and I mean, and the story from that weekend alone.
That's
all
mad
right?
that you
It
were
is
there.
mad. No,
That's
it is mad.
crazy.
I knew you would like this, right? we were told, and there was no internet back then,
No,
so
of
you
course
had to
not.
organize all the things that you were doing well ahead of time.
Yeah.
I was with 2 Canadian gal pals, sisters, and we decided we're
How
going to
did
go.
you even know about it?
Listen, mate, I'd worked. It doesn't matter. You come over here. There's a lot of backpacking and traveling was
Yeah,
super
that's
different
just-
back
I was just
then.
thinking how a
How do
Canadian
you find
very-
out? You know
from
about this. You
all
hear
the way
about
ended
it.
up
People
Tipperary.
talk.
you
They
know,
didn't all
do.
sit there on their
100.
phones.
But listen,
People talked.
so they
Yeah.
told us that the place was near to Care, like
Clare?
No, not Clare. Care, Caire, Care Castle. You know where they
Okay,
filmed
yeah, yeah.
something or other. Anyways, so what we were doing is we were staying in Care, and we had to get to where this festival was. So we had to book taxis ahead of time and meet police stations, and to get to the Fela,
Yeah.
we were hitching rides.
Yeah.
So we're hitching in Ireland in 1992.
Beautiful.
Oh, what was beautiful was, this was at the time my best friend, Amy,
Yeah.
absolutely drop dead gorgeous, man. Everybody would fall in love with her all the time, constantly. So it was very easy to get stuff done with her. It was. Boom. You know, it's like, wait a second. That's how do you think we got hashed at the Fela? My nose and her smile, and that was that. Of course, ladies, we'd be very happy to share with you. Of course, we would. Thank you very much. But we did. We were hitching in. Every day, and then coming back. But that's how we were getting hashed. Yeah, that's it. So we were
Beautiful.
getting.
That's crazy.
And
Ireland.
I'd
back
say it was a
then.
wild
but we got
festival.
picked up. Oh, but we got
But it
picked up.
was. That's how people got about.
Listen,
Yeah.
we
It
got
was, we
picked
didn't
up
have
by these
cars.
boys
Yeah.
in fancy dress. You know, I can't visualize this, but I remember it. They had these like mad scientist masks on. So we're standing on the side of the road, the three of us, right, hitching, and they stop with their, "Are you girls going to the Fela?" "Yes, we are." They're like, "Hop on in." Fabulous. We figure, well, there's 3 of us, 2 of them. How great. And we're driving, and you're in the middle of nowhere. No matter
Yeah.
where you are in Ireland, you're literally in the middle of nowhere.
Would you leave Dublin?
You are, for sure. And we weren't in Dublin yet. And they're like, we're just going to take a wee detour up to our friends, up to our family's pub up the road there. And we're like, okay. And then, you know, and we were looking at each other going, well, there's 3 of them and 2. Are we getting hauled off to the mountains to get
Human
hostels?
traffic in Ireland.
Dude, they drove us out into the middle of nowhere to this pub in the middle of nowhere. It was epic. It was
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh, I
much
can
fun.
imagine.
Yeah. It was really like that's that. And you know, you
Oh.
don't think about this stuff because this was how long ago was 1992, mate? That was like nearly
30,
30.
32 years ago.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was literally I don't think about this stuff. And then one of the
World is
man,
so
there
different.
was the cow shit incident. Some dude thought it would be fun because on a farmer's land, right?
Yeah.
And some of these twats, like these, people are going to get wasted at
Drunk
festivals.
people in Ireland.
Had run through the farmer's field or something where the cows were,
Oh.
and they come out and were shooting at them, like shooting sandbags,
Yeah,
well, not
yeah.
real bullets,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
just
Anyway, so we we were arranging to meet our taxi in front of the police station in where the hell was it? It was a County Tipper. I can't remember the name of the city, but we're stood outside this police station, and this dude comes up, covered. I mean, covered in cow shit from the fields because he had.
Jesus
Police
Christ.
wouldn't let him go in to use the bathroom.
Fucking right, you would.
These are the things that you
Show 'em in the
remember,
river.
right? Yeah, and how we got hash. It was like, well, okay,
Not off him.
how are we gonna get? No, fuck no.
I don't think that was
You
hash.
go up, you're like, where are you girls from? It was always like, where are you girls from?
Yeah.
Are you American? Yeah, we're American. No, we're Canadian. So, yeah, Ireland. And North Ireland, I've spent a whole bunch of time up in Belfast.
yeah?
I love it up there. I love the way they talk up there. I understand it as well.
Belfast.
I do, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know,
We talk more to their nose,
one of the
Belfast.
best,
Yeah,
well,
it is
one of the best edible makers was from Belfast. It was from Belfast. Space Monkey Edibles. I don't know
Oh,
if
I
you
know
ever
Space Monkey,
cross-faced,
yeah.
with them. That's go visit
Yeah,
them.
a lot came from there.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
realise
you're-
how much was happening until
Oh,
I left.
because
Yeah.
where are you
I-
from?
Yeah, Dublin. So I didn't have like I was kind of like my only stoner of the girls. Like I'd be down the end of the beer
But the
garden.
thing
blazing.
is, Dublin is in Ireland, and Belfast, as much as it's in North Ireland,
Don't say it.
I'm going to, as much as it's in North Ireland, it's still part of the UK, like it or not.
Yeah.
And no, but this is
No,
but
it
again.
is,
This
but-
is I'm talking about for the cannabis
No,
world.
100%.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second
no,
here.
we're
I'm talking
split.
about the cannabis world here.
That's
Yeah.
what I knew you were going with.
You
If
understand?
they
No, I'm.
legalise
Oh
it-
yeah, come on. Remember, we weren't going to offend anybody or get
If they
political or
legalise
religious
it,
about
you either
anything.
gotta
Damn,
give us-
watch that button. No, but and in essence, I believe that. I believe that there's look. As far as the women and the men in this industry are concerned, there is. It would be great if we were at the 80-20. Mostly, it's like 90-10. And the boys in the industry, you're going to love this. Well, too bad. The boys in the industry, I said this for a long time. They run around behaving like 16-year-old girls with money in their pockets.
Yes.
And the thing is, because they were too busy chasing 16-year-old girls when they were 16, they didn't realize how they were acting, and now they're acting like that. So, unfortunately, right?
I don't mind.
We're not going to go. No, but unfortunately, you are
is.
stuck in your own. Think about how Mila, in India, with the dude, she is the queen.
But
yeah.
that goes to show
That's
you
a
that
whole
in-
other-
no matter what generation,
That's
if
why
yeah,
she got
if-
that title.
Yeah.
Because she
100%.
actually went. She didn't just go and print a load
Nope.
of pally
Yeah.
packs and be like, I'm a G.
yeah, no, but even that she
You
didn't
can
just
do
say,
that from
"Oh, it's only
China.
men." She just done her thing
Yeah, she
and
did.
You know what I
just
mean?
rose up to
Yeah.
be
Even
the queen.
from the pollinator, her actual story of the pollinator was she was standing there washing her kids' clothes,
Yeah.
seeing the washing
How
machine
shit
go
comes out of
around,
necessity.
and literally was like, "I want to smoke more joints, but I also have shit to do." This is something. Her brain,
Yeah,
the way she
that's
talks,
it.
100%.
is a real,
100%,
an
sure.
actual stoner.
Yeah.
But that goes to
You
show
know
you
what I
out of
mean?
all
That
generations,
whole-
if
Yeah.
you are strong enough to believe in yourself and don't care about the idiots and all the
Yeah.
rest, you can rise up. You know what I mean? Just stay on your own.
There,
and-
there
Build
are,
a
like there
community.
are challenges, and I'll tell you
Yeah,
one
no,
thing.
I
Like
don't
it
doubt
can
it,
be
you know what I mean,
difficult
but
as a woman to do.
you also have
business.
advantages in ways too. You know what I mean? So
If you want to get hash and flour from a load of guys, yeah, that's your advantage.
Yeah.
Whereas there's people like us
But
that
If you want to
actually
work
don't.
with, well,
yes,
hold on.
and make
If you
your own
wanna work
business.
with-
yeah,
But here's the
then
thing.
it's not going to be an advantage.
If
it's
you
very
want
hard
to
to come
work
against.
with a culture where women are not the ones doing this type of business,
Yeah.
you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
If you want to think, I mean, I went to Morocco again, same trip, right? There was a boat from Ireland across to France. That was a long boat ride.
Yeah.
And then all the way down to, anyways, I wound up in Morocco at some point. And in Morocco, we were with friends of a dude we had met here, and we were staying with the family, and the two brothers took us from Casablanca down to Marrakesh.
Yeah.
Now, we were paying for everything because they had no money. That was already a problem. But you think there was any way of getting any hash? Absolutely not. Except for one of the brothers. He was giving me my little nighttime cadeau, which was a little hash joint at the end of the night. But you can't, as a woman, and things have changed and
Yeah,
things have
of
evolved.
course, yeah.
But as a woman, you certainly could not be treading on up to the Rift Valley saying, "Yo, how you doing, boys? I'm here from Amsterdam.
that's my
Can I
plan."
get some?" Yeah, but the thing is, these are where there's like a serious disadvantage.
Because I want to find the traditional stuff. That's fair.
And
but that it makes Mila even more more oppressive. That
No,
even back
exactly.
then, you know what I mean?
That's all there was the
Yeah.
traditional stuff.
Yeah,
There wasn't
and
all this
and again,
fancy.
only
Go
men.
and-
There was no other women there.
No.
At least you used to have a few women that are in the industry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Again, maybe 90-10%. You know what I mean? But
No, but if you
she
take a
had
look,
99-1%. You
if
know
you
what I
take
mean?
a look at the women in the industry, right? So Mila is on the. I mean, she's going to be 80 in
Yeah,
December. That's
December,
going to be
yeah.
quite a party,
She's
and she
having
doesn't
it-
stop.
yeah.
She's off to
She's
do
off
another
to
Dabadoo in
Himalayas.
America and Toronto.
She's going
in
to
the
the
next
Himalayas
month.
first
She's
with her
I know, she's
grandkids and
doing
her
all this
kids and
stuff.
all.
This is like big up, but again, you've got Mila, and then there's a couple of other women her age.
Yeah.
Mishka is one of them, and oh man, I know I'm going to be very bad with all this. Never mind the boys. You know that you realize that she's older than Soma, but Soma looks quite a bit older than she does. But underneath, in between, sort of Mila and my age, which is going to be 55, and I'm very happy to say that because I have earned every gray hair. There weren't really any women,
Yeah.
and most of the women in the industry, like that are even around my age, there are not much of us, and any of us have always been tied to a business partner
Yeah.
or a partner in business and not doing things on their own. So you know, unicorns, and it still is.
Yeah.
It's more for sure. Like there's all these women in cannabis groups that open up,
Yeah.
but truthfully, the women can be worse than the boys. But I never said that.
No, and it can be. It can be. They all.
100%.
It's like everyone's gone back to school times. Where it's
100%
like
side school.
we all have differences.
Yeah.
We are all
But
different.
women don't like women. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
No,
No, but like
that's
in
not
general,
right. That's
like
bullshit.
you never see
Yeah.
big groups
If you
of
are
women.
comfortable in yourself, like I've gone into rooms and I felt insecure.
Yeah.
But then once I recognise, oh, actually, that's something about me, not them.
Yeah.
Then you can switch it.
So-
Whereas if you go in and start judging,
But this is what I mean.
That's-
Most
Yeah,
women
but
are.
usually
Obviously, there's exceptions, but most women are. They're
Catty.
very, they're very.
100%.
They'll only have one or two. You'll never
Yeah.
like. You'll see a group of lads. You never see.
So-
You will on the heads doing all this, but there's never. There's always little
but that's what we need to break. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying
Well,
to break.
yes and no. I was a tomboy growing up. I
But
used to
this-
play with
this-
the boys.
Yeah,
I used to do
again,
all the things with the boys.
Because you're more boyish,
Yeah.
you
I
get
know,
back like a
the
girl.
lads.
And I
Yeah.
didn't
So
have
that's
so many.
if you're a tomboy, you kind of break that
Yeah.
thing. And we're talking about girly girls. They're the ones that are caddy.
The
and-
girly girls all have, believe me, girly girls have their girl groups.
No,
as
they
well.
do, but again,
Yeah.
there's like not as we're all just one big happy family. It's always like I like her. She's kind. This.
Either
Again,
way-
not everybody.
No,
We're just talking
yeah.
about in
It's
general.
a small,
like, you know
it's a
what I mean?
small pecking order that we do have
Yeah.
for that. But what is nice to see is that there are more and more women from a younger generation, right? Because
Yeah,
you're
there's a lot
you're half
more.
my age. Good.
Yeah.
Do something with
No,
it.
Yeah,
and
you have
take
to
the
keep
boys
it
out.
going.
No, because literally when I came over, nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And like after
People have
lockdown,
tried before, but the thing
but
is,
I'm like, get your finger out. Stop. Like I love to blaze all the time. But you need to keep fucking going. You know what I mean? Smoke
Do
the joints to
something
keep doing
to
the
it.
I got
shit.
28-year-old lungs and
Mate.
brain cells.
Man, I fucking don't. I've lungs like a fucking 9-year-old man. I've been smoking tobacco since I'm 12. Yeah, no, I can't. It's
I've-
arrogant. We drink and smoke before we
Yeah,
do
but
any
you
other
know
shit.
what? And I'm just thinking, all right, well,
But it's this shit needs to happen. The community needs to shake up. People need to start collaborating, coming together,
I'm-
and making stuff happen.
I'd
Yeah.
like to say
you don't have to be friends with everyone, but we
You don't.
need to be. You know what I mean?
Sure. And
I
you're
think-
doing this puff paint
Yeah,
thing,
you can see it
right?
behind you
Yeah.
there.
Right, which I think is a super cool thing because it's getting people to do it. So the social clubs in Barcelona are there,
Yeah.
not just to go buy weed and
No, they
sit
do
and
a
get
lot
baked.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Is the idea is that there should
This
be
is
a
where to hang
social
out
thing.
and
I've
chill.
heard
There
a
was
lot of
one
them are
dude
really
doing
welcoming.
a little game night over at the Plug. I think he was
Yeah.
doing some sort of a chess night
Oh,
or
yeah,
board game.
yeah.
night, You know,
Yeah.
it's very look.
It needs to happen.
Getting stoners
Yeah.
together is like herding cats. Do you know what I mean? Let's all be here at this time and doing this and blah blah blah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And when you take a look at the community, right? There's different factions of different communities, right? Or
Yeah.
there's different factions within the community.
Yeah.
Like again, it. Okay, no, you. 1 minute. Yes, I'm supposed to be nice. I'm saying only good and happy and positive
No, but it
things.
is.
Puppets
We're
for
working on
positivity.
good.
The
No, but
thing
I was just
is-
going to say, you say the factions. We were saying earlier, we don't have. we're friends with everyone. We're not friends. We know
a lot of
everyone, and
people.
Yeah,
Sure.
there's
more
nobody
Sure,
we
good on
beef with
you.
because we
Yeah.
don't do
Good
that.
on
And
you. Yeah.
if
We're
someone
not
has
ours.
beef with someone else and we deal with them too, that's your deal.
People
we
have
don't
beef
take other
As
people.
you said,
because-
we're the Switzerland.
We're Switzerland. Yeah,
So
there's
people
no beef
have
here.
good. Then you have more
Good
money than
time.
everybody
No,
else.
no,
does.
that's definitely. We have a Toblerone. That's and a Swiss Army knife.
Look, good on you. Good on you for
Yeah, no,
doing
we
things
don't
like
do
this.
beef for anyone. I don't know if anyone has beef for us. Fuck them if they do, but we don't do beef for
That's
anyone.
not
You know
Irish.
what I mean? Like it's.
So if you're
But
not
it is.
doing
It might
money,
be the Irish mentality.
All
but
right,
we're just
look,
not ours.
people are going to have beef over money, over a woman or a dude, right?
Yeah.
Or some sort of weird ego thing.
Yeah,
so I've
so
seen
we don't do any of that
awesome
money or egos.
partnerships split up because of one of those three.
Yeah.
I've got a trail of her. She's a blah 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 blah. Really? Have you done business with me? No. Have we done this? No. So you don't really know me.
Yeah.
Do I have a lack of filter sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely have a lack of filter sometimes. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
But I would never go out to.
Destroy
I'm either
someone
going
or-
to offend everyone or no one.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
one person is offended, that's one, or upset, that's one person too many.
Yeah.
Which is why Trappy doesn't speak anymore. One person was offended. All right, Trappy, you can talk to me.
He's a mute now.
He is a mute. It's probably better for everybody. He was very rude. He still is. So you know what? Look, you want to talk about here's something that I've found, especially post-pandemic. It really is an everybody for themselves world, community. It's not only in the cannabis thing.
Yeah.
Everybody is in it for themselves. A lot of people are suffering because the cannabis industry, as an example, since we're talking about all things cannabis,
Yeah.
I'm not quite finished. See how slowly I smoke? Oh man, is suffering. It really is. There's a growth in an industry
Yeah.
that doesn't have a growth in the number of people that are actually
Yeah, for sure.
consuming. That is an issue. You don't need 20 different e-rigs, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't. If you can't buy what goes in the e-rigs anywhere,
But
what do
this
you
is
need all
everyone
of them?
wants to jump in and wants to be
100%.
part of it. They want
Yeah.
to try. And
100%.
as I said, if you're not good enough, you'll be weaned out and you'll disappear. You know what I mean? It's how the big ones stay. You know what I mean? They
Here's the
all
way
try
I'm
it.
looking at it. Everybody is very much for themselves. So
Yeah.
it's a greedy world we live in. It's a greedy everything. We're all guilty on some level. So one of the things, and this is going to segue nicely into the trappy section of things. Well, no, for sure. Like, why is there a
I
stuffed
wanna speak
hedgehog
on this.
Yeah.
on the table?
People
Well, his
wondered
name
the
is
whole
Trappy.
episode.
His name is Trappy. Yeah, he's a dog. No, he's not. Oops. But one of the things that I started doing last year, and my parents always volunteered. They did. They volunteered at a soup kitchen for years and years and years. And I thought, you know what, you lazy cow, you're not doing anything for
Yeah.
anybody else. Since we don't like people that much, I thought, well, wait a second. I'm going to. I knew about this place,
Yeah.
but then I saw a little news thing on AT5 about this place, which is walkable from where I live. I mean,
Okay.
it's way east, and the walk is, 3/4 of an hour. I call that walkable.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what? I'm going to go over there. And I'm going to see what it's all about, and maybe I can volunteer. And it turns out that this place is called the Toevlucht, and it's a wild animal sanctuary that is in the southeast. And I started volunteering. I don't go often enough. I need to go more often.
No, but
I
it's-
did, and basically,
everything is
what I
amazing.
like to do is I
Yeah.
like to hang out with hedgehogs. Hedgehogs are cool. Why? Well, because they just kind of, some of them are fussy, most of them are quite chilled.
Yeah.
You get to, there's some of them, I'll tell you what, cleaning up hedgehog cages full of hedgehog poop. It's some sort
Good
of
for your soul,
karmic,
is it?
cathartic,
Yeah.
whatever.
You get
but
your
there
exercise
is-
over
that's it,
there,
but it's
clear your
not
soul,
only
and
that.
your
Nature
exercise.
some
Like,
way.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're back to, they actually let
Yeah.
me release one day. They said, can you take this home? And we'll talk about that off camera because you'll start crying. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
Oh.
But one of the things that I've been doing, what do you do? What's this Seshsational thing?
Yeah.
Is I've been raising money at the expos for these, dude, I'm baked. I've been raising money at the shows. So
Yeah.
I have a charity raffle. I go up to companies, speaking of e-rigs, hey Puffco, hey Carda, hey this, hey
Yeah.
that, hey that. give me presents, and I have enough friends in the industry that I get loads of presents. So I can, and why? Because I'm going to do a raffle.
Beautiful.
And so last year at Product Earth, I had no booth, but I ran around hustling people out of 20 quid here and 20 quid there. We did a really cool raffle. And that was 710 euros.
Nice.
I did the same thing at Canabis this year on a smaller level. I hustled people out of 20 euros. I added a little bit in myself and made a donation of 710 euros.
Nice.
And I say that because, you know what, I want to say I'm kind of proud of myself.
If you could donate, what's it? And I'll put it at the bottom. What's the website? Or
yeah, but you could.
give it to me after, and I'll put it at the bottom here.
There, okay, that's cool. And I mean, not even for money, but if you ever had
if somebody
time
wanted
and
to
wanted
donate,
to do
like,
stuff, if somebody wanted to donate or time or whatever, it's a great place of doing that. And this is it. It feels good to give back.
Yeah.
It also
No,
gives me,
big time.
you know, like, and this
animals is good. You know
that's
what I
it.
mean?
Well, you can't. The thing is, if you're picking humans, who do you pick? Do you pick the ones that are suffering here or here or here or here
there's
or
too
here
much
or
choice.
here? There's way too much choice. So what I've done is I picked a place that's close to home.
Nice.
When was it? Last year at the beginning of the year, I did a much bigger raffle, and we raised between proceeds from a product that I had been putting money aside for years ago and proceeds from last year's Canabis, but I would never do that again. Man, I was such a mess. But we did give $3,000 to a sanctuary on Lanzarote. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So that is it's a good thing. I like that.
It
But
is.
this is what I mean.
What needs to
if
happen.
only we could give a little bit more and be a little
it
bit less.
doesn't even have
you
to
know,
just be in the cannabis
No.
thing.
Yeah, no, but
Outside
it
to the world, we need to.
Well, we
as
did
well
it as
break
well.
them
When
down
did we
taboos.
do this?
well,
By
like,
doing that, it's a
Product Earth, you know, the UK
Yeah, very good,
Product
yeah,
Earth
yeah.
in 2019, before the pandemic. I did a big collective on my booth there, and there's a dude that does an event in the UK called Brumsterdam. It's quite a well-known underground thing. Doesn't matter. But with him and I, we anyways, we did this on the booth. We raised a whole bunch of money, again, £710. And then we went and we got to donate it to the Gentleshaw Wildlife Centre, and I got to hold a skunk. It was very cool. Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you I'll show the video after, like a real smelly skunk. It did not spray.
Thank God.
It was very cool.
I'd say it's quite
But do you know what I mean? It did really just like kind of
Happy
like a
with you.
hat.
Water
Yeah, it
bottle
was
kind of
really
buzz.
funny. It was very cool.
Nice.
So that's the one thing that I do want to say to people is if you have a chance to give or to do something within whatever it is, whether it's animals or people or whatever your wheelhouse is, do that. Because if you have and somebody has not, or if you can and somebody cannot, then please do.
Every little bit
That's
adds.
a nice message for
This
sure.
is what how about that?
Yeah.
You see, like that's the positivity message among the what do you call it? And also, so this is another. I like giving shit. I like to give things to people. So I brought gifts for you too. Oh.
You don't usually
quiet.
get gifts, so
I know you don't get gifts, but that's because you don't have me on here. I'm going to let
have you on more often, so
No, you only get gifts one time. Well, I tried to give you a gift the other day, but I was too baked. And you don't know you're getting this, so you're going to like this. So I'm going to like this. And
okay.
I am curious. How long have we been talking now?
Oh,
Can you
Jesus.
see that? It's only been like what, 45 minutes?
No, I'd say probably an hour and a bit.
No, 100%
It's 3
not.
o'clock now.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not 3 o'clock. I warned you. We need other guests on here. Maybe that's why subconsciously.
If we had another guest on, we'd be here for 7 hours.
Dude, you can't, I told you.
No,
you know, I
this
can
is
keep
fine.
But
going.
this
We've
is
got
what we
loads
also
of
we
notes.
love this because
Yeah.
as we said, we aren't like we're also new to this industry.
And I've done.
And you guys, like we've had a few people like yourself, Uncle Stoner, Captain Hooter, me, like you guys know the industry.
Yeah, and the only way
You know
people
what I
can
mean?
continue on the way you did it is by hearing the stories of
You know
how
what
it
I
was
mean?
done, learn from your
Well,
mistakes,
Like
see how you've done
Instagram,
it.
all well and good. You
Yeah.
can go and find out what's happening right
get
now,
me
what
started.
joint people are smoking right now.
Yeah.
But what is actually happening?
Well,
Learn that by talking, by meeting people.
This is a thing, and I'm actually there's a teaching moment here. The 3 V's of
We've learned a lot.
communication. It is. This is something that I really stress to all you kids.
If you're
and
not
my
liking,
kids,
you're learning. That's
If
more
you're not
important.
liking, you're learning. So the 3 V's of communication are verbal, vocal, and visual.
Yeah.
So all communication, you can break it down into those three things. So 100% of communication, verbal, are the words that are written down, so your text messages, your emails. Vocal is how you say something. You add the voice into it, right? And it comes with the fuck you, fuck you. You understand? So however it is you're going to say it.
For someone as sarky as me, text messages can be,
problem.
oh, wait.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. And then visual, right, is the third one where you can actually see while you're communicating. All right. So the verbal, the words.
Yeah.
What percentage of all communication, like whatever we're trying to communicate, is verbal? Guess out of 100%.
Oh, isn't it very
I want you to both
low?
guess.
It's only like 10% or something.
And what's yours?
Oh, I would have said much higher.
Say it. I want to hear both your
60%.
things. How much?
60.
60. Okay. So, ding, 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 ding. Would you like to know what the real number is?
Yeah.
7%.
7.
7. Now, so you're 60%, right?
Yeah.
This is where things you're going to change your. This is
This is
life changing.
Yeah.
I read people more than I listen.
But this is life changing. So that means that 90%, 93% of what you're trying to communicate has the potential for not being correctly communicated.
Yeah.
Really. So your text messages or emails. It's one thing if Amazon is telling you, "Hey, your product is going to be delivered at 3 today." It's a whole other thing if you slept with your best friend's husband's blah blah blah. These are different conversations altogether.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we move into the vocal. So that means talking on the phone, leaving voice messages, whatever. What's the next percentage? We're down. So we've got 2 left. We've got visual and vocal left. What does the vocal percentage? You've got 93% to deal with.
Like how it's said is vocal mean? Like,
well, vocal is a tone of your voice.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Actually, so right now, out of 93% of communication, what
I
does
definitely
vocal?
say this is the highest one.
Out of 93 is vocal and visual. I'm going to go with 30-60.
What did you say?
I don't know.
Hold on, say it. What was your first one? First thing that comes to mind. Don't think about it too much. What did you think?
I think nearly 90% vocal.
90%. You only have 93%
Oh,
left.
And as we divide
I still think it's high. I'm going to say 80%.
You're going to say 80% is vocal, and you went with what? 30?
Like
that was it. No, I don't want to explain. I want a number. I don't need the explanation.
I think
30. That's fine.
60% is like visual, like your body language.
Stop. You're winning. You won. You've won because it's 38%, right?
Is
and then
what?
38% is vocal. The highest amount for communication, 55% of everything that is communicated is visual. So if you don't have, this is why I like doing Zoom things or face-to-face encounters, or because you miss all of the potential for correct communication. This is why so many fights and so many issues happen in text messages and online. You can't hear sarcasm.
But that's why I taught the vocal, because like I could not even be looking at somebody and I'll be
vocal
slagging them, but they'll know by what I said and how I said it that it's a joke, so they didn't even have to see me.
I think that's you.
This is why,
You're always sarcastic.
But this is why I taught it how I do it.
All right, but then
like
why
I could
did
say
we
the
go,
most
why was I
harmful
saying
things,
this?
but once
Well,
they
yeah,
hear it.
tone was a strong point.
Tone, but tone is also part of the visual because you've got the.
Oh, I thought tone was vocal.
Well, wait a minute.
What are the 3 V's?
The 3 V's are visual, vocal. Now I'm confused. Verbal, vocal, and visual. So when you eliminate the visual, when you don't, okay, so maybe you're right there. When you eliminate what you're doing,
vocals the tone, and visuals your body language.
That's the one. And when you're missing the body language, you're losing 55% of what somebody is actually trying to communicate. It's a big number.
I was thinking from my perspective, if someone couldn't see me and I was still saying, you know what I'm like, horrible, offensive things, even once they heard me, they know I was joking without seeing me.
What horrible offensive
he's a bastard.
When you were saying earlier, you like to offend everyone. If I'm slagging somebody, like let's say we're in a group of people here and I'm slagging you about something.
Sure.
I want you to laugh the most. You know what I mean?
That's roasting, not
no,
really
yeah,
slagging.
But not even. That's how I slag everybody. You'll never be. I'll never have everyone laughing at you.
You'll be laughing.
I want me and you to have a little
never be
joke.
laughing at me.
I don't want. I'm not trying to entertain all them at your expense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to entertain you at your expense.
Right.
And they can laugh if they enjoy it. So if I'm slagging somebody, I'm slagging you about something, but I know you're gonna. My favorite thing is when someone
Like my chaoticness would throw my stuff everywhere.
when someone-
Okay, stop. It's not just me here.
sorry.
Hold on. Hang on a second here. This is like no.
No, just let me
No,
finish.
stop. You can finish, but get to where it is you're
No, that's what
going,
I'm trying to
because
say.
you're confusing
So
me.
what I'm trying to say is, when I'm slagging somebody, I want them.
yeah,
to
I got
be-
that part. Yeah, you're
but
roasting them. You're
give
baked.
something- Right, 2 seconds.
See, your train of thought is now derailed. Why did I come to this? What were we talking
You're
about
talking
in
about
between
communication.
this?
Communication
but
and
then
how
And
verbal and
like,
stuff
the
is. I'm saying
first-
how I slag people is
No, but I'm going way back to before the 3 V's.
Canada.
Oh, we should not get high and record
I'm gonna go
podcasts.
with like the first like 8
No,
minutes.
but there's
of
other
that
stuff
one.
no, that wasn't. That was well into it. There was
So
a
it's
time.
to do with like
Dude, I need a
communication.
fucking minion to write all this down. Somebody who doesn't smoke as much.
Dogs
We all do.
Well, he's,
Odin, get a tone.
He's been really good,
Yeah,
but
no,
he wants
yeah.
something now. He
He's a
probably
legend.
wants to. Oh yeah, back to me giving you presents.
Oh, yeah.
Communication,
How-
giving things. 1 minute.
Oh, you're
How come I have
here's
to
some
remember
wisdom,
this?
and you're like, here's 3 V's.
The 3, but there was, I know,
That
but
was
there
our
was
present.
a reason for that. You
Yeah,
should know that.
we've
What
learned
about your
that.
presents? All right. Thank you. Because my presence was welcome here. Then your presents are, and I did want to give this to you the other day. So, yeah, you don't leave home, you don't go into somebody else's place without bringing something. You don't show up empty-handed.
Yeah.
That's what we learned. Didn't you have that? Like, didn't you grow up? I mean, look, I keep thinking if you grew up in a place like Ireland, even Dublin is a city, but you would
Yeah.
still kind of grow up with older fashioned values.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know
no,
what I
for
mean?
Oh
sure.
no, very.
Like you
very.
still have that island
Oh, we have
crazy,
morals. Yeah,
right?
no,
Yeah.
that's what I can't deal with kids nowadays. Is where's chivalry gone? Where's
Yeah.
your manners? Where's please
There's
and
no-
thank
no,
you?
no,
You're always
there's
afraid
no-
your
there's
man
no
will find
Get
out.
up
No,
off-
but this is the
get up
parents
off
that
a
have
seat
done
for an
that. The
elder.
parents have not, because you're
Oh,
being
no,
raised.
that was
Kids are
fed
being
into
raised
us.
by screens. Is what
Yes.
they're being raised by. Kids are
No.
being raised by screens. I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
Because the other day, I wasn't going to give you a choice. I'd actually rather not give you a choice, but I'm going to give you a choice.
I don't
Because
like
the
this.
last thing that you need is something else when you may have to move.
Okay.
You don't need that. You don't need other things, but it's quite flat.
Yeah.
So, what I'm doing at these expos now, this is getting back to the seshsational section of what is that, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing at these expos, I used to work with my own brand, which was an American brand that I brought over here.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that a couple of years ago. They were smell-proof bags, right?
Okay. Say no more.
Hence, no, we can't say no more.
Okay.
Hence the absent.eu name to the account, but not the bags anymore. Anyways, so I had a booth at all these shows for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
Before that, I worked for a really big wholesale for grow shops, and I worked for Devil's Harvest a little bit back in the day, and originally for a nutrient company.
Yeah.
So I've been to all the trade shows. In my first Canabis was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was my
Nice.
Canabis
Yeah.
Quinceañera this year.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, and there were people there that were even on their 20th. You know, the ones that were there from the beginning.
Going that long.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing-
15 in this place and 5 years it was.
I
up
think
a
it was
mountain
only one of the
Wow.
quizzes I did. When was the first Spanavis? And I think it was like 2002 or 2004.
And this
or
was
something like
this was it was their 20-year anniversary this year,
2004
so
then,
2004. Yeah, that would be right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I
that.
still
Ninja
had-
Hedgehog.
Did you? No, he does. Don't be looking at Trappy, mate. That's
Yeah,
it. So that was the first one,
Yeah.
and what I've been doing in the last couple of years is taking different brands onto the booth.
Okay, nice.
So what I did at Canabis this year in the last 2 years, actually before that I used to share with a company called Grassroots California. They're a hat company,
Yeah.
but they're bougie, pricey hats.
Okay.
Yeah. However, cool hats. And I shared with them. And then in 2022, look, this pandemic really messed everything.
Yeah.
It really did when it comes to all these shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Because in 2019, I want to say I was on a plane 48 times,
Wow.
and I did 25 separate events.
Oh,
15 of which I want to
that's
say, and I did it all
lovely.
myself.
Yeah.
So you want to
Well
talk about
done.
women in the industry, dude?
Yeah.
I had some help, but I couldn't do it now.
Yeah.
There is no way. Only 5 years later, I could turn that clock back and redo it. Seriously, I don't know how I did it. I can't even get my shit sorted for like Canabis
Yeah.
and this Berlin show. Like, trust me, it's long.
Yeah.
Um,
I think when you commit to it, you just got to do it. You
you
find
have
the
it
way.
is. And
like,
once you've done it, it's like,
she
don't
knows
ask
better
me
than
why
anybody.
we're doing it this way. Just bloody do it.
Just get
and
it
I do
done.
have that a little bit with the people I've been sharing with recently, because it's just listen to me. Why? That's why.
Yeah.
Don't make me explain. Please, please, pretty please. You can have your way
when you're doing your shit.
51 weeks out of the year, or when you're paying for all of this. But while I'm paying, anyways. So,
Quick rant.
this last Canabis, I had some UK brands on the website, on the booth. I wasn't there. Never happened.
Never happened.
One of which never happened. I wasn't there. I'm sorry, but on one side of the booth now, I've got a Dutch dude from the south of Holland. He's had a grow shop for 20 years, and he started a nutrient line. I think he was doing powder, and now he's doing mineral, so that's top plant. And he's awesome.
Yeah,
it's great to have a 2 meter tall dude on your booth. It is, when you're like 5 foot nothing, and you've got somebody that can reach all the things. That's awesome. So he's on one half of the booth, 100%. And this year I took UK brands.
Okay.
So one of them is Bling Your Bud. Bling Your Bud does these. I don't want to grab Trump.
Yeah, he's got.
He does. Oops, I'm going to shout him out because he does these gold dip buds.
Oh yes.
But he'll dip all kinds of things, right? Like this is a feather from a baby magpie.
Oh, wow.
There's a coffee bean on here as well. I love this stuff. Like really.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Don't look at Trappy.
Yeah.
And Buddy High, which is his giant plushie. I did not bring Buddy into town because he would have been humping him. But he gets humped. And then there was another brand called Stashik. These are like cases, smell-proof cases, funny enough. Not quite smell-proof, but smell-proof enough.
Okay.
I had them on, and like we work together as a collective.
Nice.
So everybody, everybody does their own. So Bling Your Bud is doing his counter. Buddy High is selling his stuff. The other dudes are selling, everybody does their own thing.
Yeah.
And it was the first year that I was really not doing anything myself except
house,
organizing and supervising. I don't want to be front of house anymore. Too much work. Even just no, don't want to do it. Better behind the scenes.
No.
Better that I'm not talking
Arrange
to
it and then
anybody.
watch it.
Better I shouldn't be talking to anybody. I really shouldn't.
But nice that you're giving a platform for
100%,
people that might have had that chance.
Yeah, they couldn't afford a booth by themselves.
Yeah,
or
that's
this
it.
and that.
And also, listen, my booth is in the main hall at Canabis. You fucking pay me, mate. This is serious. You don't get into there. So it was a big deal, and they were pretty grateful about that. One of the brands that I support to the moon and back is an American company called Mood Mats.
Okay.
So we talked about this the other day. Mood Mats are these. This is upcycled rubber. So upcycled is not recycled; it's repurposed rather than recycled.
What's the difference?
Yeah, you know what? Those
just
are
the fact that you went into it.
I say that because on their website they say that.
Yeah,
nice. Upcycled, whatever.
Okay,
and it's important.
Point.
There is a different thing. It is because it's all very ethical. These are super cool people. But for your glass, so there's a large dabbing and glass and rig community where you wouldn't want to put a glass down here because somebody would bump the table, the glass would fall over. But if it falls over on a mood mat, right, then it's not going. Anyways, so they're awesome people, and I always bring stuff. They sponsor loads of mats so that I can sell them, so that I can make the donation. They really are like these are big time cool people. Anyways,
nice.
So since you couldn't go to Canabis, what I did is I brought you a Seshsational booth one. Right, I'm going to sign it. Don't worry, you got something else. Now I had another option for you because it says dope shit happens, but I think
like this one.
You need to have the Seshsational one. You're 100%.
I have a dampening one behind you. He's eaten the head off it already, so he likes to eat this.
Yeah, no, you want to keep this away from him for
sure.
Because this is a
limited
edition one. There were only 50 made this year. It says Canabis 2024 on it. You will get a signature on it. Now, you, however, do I want to think that you asked Bling Your Bud to sponsor an event, or did you do that? Was that you?
Yeah, for the
you
ladies'
did.
day.
Right. You cannot do that at the last minute, and you need
I
to
know.
talk to me. That was very bad. You're being
anyone that knows me knows what I'm like.
That doesn't matter.
I'm working on it.
And because Bling Your Bud is one of the brands that I work with, and the guy who makes them is a good buddy of mine, right? So he showed this to me, and I said, man, these kids, what do they think? And where did they think it was going to come from? Was it going to zap into?
No,
was
I
it going
just
to
cycled
materialize?
kilometers.
That was really wrong. Yeah, he lives in the UK. There's no cycling. Yeah, there's no cycling. So what I thought is, for you are going to get a little mini bling. Yeah, you get to pick one of these here. Yeah, come on.
I feel like I need to apologize on cam.
You don't.
I'm last minute and
You
late.
didn't see
I'm sorry.
that coming. No, but you didn't see that
Fairy time.
coming, right? Dude, Odin, I don't know what you're sniffing.
No.
Let's quit sniffing
Having
it.
a moment over here.
So, I did put a couple of coffee beans in there because if you like coffee more than you would want a gold bud, then there you go. But since you don't, I don't think that's an option. So you pick one of these little 4 gold things, please and thank you. How about that? Right?
Yeah,
Cool,
nice,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to give a boy jewelry. Here, give me the mat, I'll sign
yeah.
it. Yeah, but this is, you know what? We got to do nice things for you. Know,
Yeah, no,
you
we're all
started
about
this.
it.
You started this with a gift for me.
So-
yeah? So maybe I need to try them on camera
See
and let the
this?
public
Mental.
decide.
At Christmas, we did a session in Prix de
I
Me.
didn't see this.
We
Okay, for
had
sure.
all them
Okay.
sponsors involved.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
done a gift box for 75 people. The gift box alone was worth about €300 with so many
That's
gifts.
great. Yeah,
I
that's
think
super
the whole
nice.
day we gave away nearly 20 grand's worth of cannabis merchandise from
Do
all
you know what I
these
mean? Okay,
amazing
It was
sponsors.
savage. It was
This
great.
is,
we like to give away too,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we know exactly what you're saying.
It is, you know.
Yeah, we know
I've
what
got-
you should get.
No,
What?
we
I
don't.
like that.
We got.
Oh, yeah, but
we
the thing
didn't
is-
get to keep anything out of this. You know what I
No,
mean?
well,
It
you
was-
could have. You had to take it out to begin. Just pick one. Let's go. Pick one. Don't cry. It's all good. How about that?
Thank you so much.
You're very
Yeah,
welcome.
you're lovely.
Thank you, Bling Your Bud.
on. Yeah,
Sorry for
that's
being
it.
the last minute bitch. I'm working on it. I just have too many ideas.
listen,
it doesn't stop in my brain.
The
And
thing
then
is,
I'm like,
there's a million different ideas, and one thing that business-wise I learned a long time ago is when you give something away for free, you eliminate all of its value. Now,
Yeah.
here is a catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
When somebody has had to go out and purchase something,
Yeah.
when they give it to you, it's cost them something. When somebody has grown something or made something, of course, it's cost in other ways.
Yeah.
But as a receiver, if you haven't paid for it, if you lose it, you might feel bad that you lost it, but oh well. If somebody else says, oh, I like that thing, hey, here, you take it, it was given to me, I don't
Yeah.
want it, I don't need it. So I'm very particular when it comes to taking things
Yeah.
and giving things.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to try the hats on now. I need a mirror. Come on, I want to see. I don't wear beanies that often, but I don't, like.
You don't
this-
have to
this
wear
is-
it, but it's
No,
just
it's not about
wrap it.
wearing it, it's about where, can I, did you pick one? That's okay. You're going to get a fancy little bag with it as well. Hold on. You do. You get a fancy little bag.
I even feel like bad that this is.
No, you shouldn't.
Because
You
I
should feel
asked
good.
to give
No,
it away.
stop.
No,
Done. That's it, right? All right. Let's try. Good.
This
21
is
times 20.
mental.
Let me see the toque, honey. Can I take it? All right. Can I try that on, or is
Yeah,
that going to be
of course.
gross for the next person? Sorry. I'm very clean.
Thank
Super
you.
clean. I want to see that. Yeah, but I like
Do you
that.
know what?
21 times 20 is fucking hilarious, mate.
if you
It
want-
It's
really is.
lovely and discreet.
It's so funny because idiot over, like really, you shouldn't call yourself
So
an
many
idiot.
people.
Well, you kind of are.
I say
It's
how
not
many
always
times.
like
But you
21,
see
20. What
people
is it?
staring at it, trying
I
to
was
figure
like-
out the maths, and they're like,
let me. Where's that? Let me
Oh, yeah,
see
shit.
the- I like little toques. I just don't have an option. I like that. What do you think? Should I get the toque or should I get this? One way or the other. It's either.
Well,
going-
I was just want to say, how much
Don't
time are you going
take
to spend
both.
in
No, I don't want both
Canada?
of them. I don't want both of them.
How much time do you
Not
spend in
enough
Canada?
not enough to make.
Well, you spend a lot of
the
time in Amsterdam, so that's
I
cold.
spend all
enough.
the time in Amsterdam.
It's
know-
up to
know
you.
what? I don't know. I like them both. I don't want them both, but I like them both. So I'm going to make a decision afterwards. Because this is either no, I know what's going to happen. This is
No.
going to sit on the coat rack
Yeah.
where I can see it, or this is going to go
What,
in a pile
what-
of hats.
Do you have somebody you could give one of them to if you didn't want the other
Oh,
one?
I could. We could always find somebody to give something to.
Yeah.
That is a doable thing, and this is. Okay, other rule. I don't take things unless I know I'm going to use them, do something with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
You know, people are always throwing stickers at me. I'm like, mate, I'm 55. I don't need your cheap ass sticker that you printed on your. Thank you very much, but why don't you keep that?
Yeah.
You know, like, and then everybody gets offended by everything.
Yeah.
But this is clever. This is really clever. Didn't see that coming. What's funny? Right.
because
If you had done 42 times 10,
Yeah.
that might have sunk in a little
Yeah.
quicker. But this is much cleverer. I love it.
And it sounds 21 by 20. It's like a kind of.
little roll off the bum.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very funny. So, and because packaging, right? Isn't this a cool logo? We had somebody redesign the logo. He didn't want to redesign it, and we did, and it looks so cool. So in here, it is.
Yeah.
It was Mace, who is a graffiti artist, that did the
Nice.
original design, and then one of the guys from the Buddy High Club is like a graphics guru.
Nice.
And he blinged it up like that, and it looks great. So you get a little thing, and then you get a little gold bag, and then you get it in a little bag like this, because everybody likes Mylar. And I'm way too cheap to get these printed with Bling Your Butt on it, so we get stickers made. So you can get your own little stickers.
It takes a lot of effort to
You
go
get it.
and
Oh no, but
stick
I
in
think
every
is, I know
bag.
it. Yeah, that's no. I did the 100 of these for Spanibus. They were all crooked, every single fucking one of them. It was the funniest thing. And you get a Bling Your Butt for your fridge or something that you're going to have.
You don't have your own stickers, do you?
You know what? Here's the thing. Dum Dum forgot the giant Seshsational stickers.
Okay.
I totally forgot them.
As you see, all my guests have put stickers at the front.
Right. Oh, right. Pure Vita. What? You had Antoine on
He was
here?
on with Dara.
Oh, were the two of them on there?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
The
Antoine.
Pure Vita didn't get to talk much.
I was
if you
going
know
to
what
say,
Dara's
and
like.
if well, okay, now I'm going to, and I grew up with French as my second language.
Yeah.
I speak it, so me doing this is not being rude, or well, it's maybe a little, but Antoine, he talk like this. It's like he does speaks French like he does. And for the first, I said to him, you know, Antoine, your English, you sound just like Pepe Le Pew from Bugs Bunny. Who? What? You've never heard of Pepe Le Pew? No, I don't know. What is that? Pepe Le Pew. I said, one moment, please. And this is where smartphones are very smart sometimes. Showed him a Bugs Bunny Pepe Le Pew cartoon for the first time. Yeah, but I don't sound like these. Ah, but yes, you do.
This is the perfect impression.
Okay, but the thing is, you know, like, I will get you a big, I completely forgot the big stickers.
Yeah.
I forgot the good stickers.
No, it's good. We'll
Sorry.
get off you
But
again.
we'll put a big one on. It is,
Yeah.
but it's a big one. Who else
Love
have you
it.
had on there? One minute, I can't see from here. I can't see anything. Fudge this, yes, good fudge. I can't see anything.
Mila,
Don't know
Alpha
him.
Chef, LeBlaze, Blazy Susan.
Yeah,
we
Blazy
know
Susan,
Trey.
we know Trey. You had Uncle Stoner on here,
Uncle
I
Stoner,
think. You've
yeah.
had Captain Hooter on here.
Captain Hooter.
His new stickers with that VIP pre-er.
Oh yeah, did you
those
see
are nice.
the
Yeah,
interactive thing? That's cool.
He said, "Yeah, you know what? It's good. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
A
it's gonna be
VIP
interesting
room
to
in,
see, yeah.
in Amsterdam is a good idea. I was going to sign this.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, there you go, shiny. And you know what? It's funny because, I mean, Trapeze is a little bit bigger than this one, but seeing you. This is actually a really good little size for you.
it's-
You don't need a big giant
I'm
anything.
not
This is
flashy,
perfect.
I'm thrift.
Sit. I like to give
Yeah,
shit, and
yeah,
I like to
legend.
give good gifts.
Thank you
That's
so
it.
much.
You're very
I mean
welcome.
it.
Thank you very much for
Yeah,
having
no,
me.
for
Thank
sure.
you.
You'll
I
hear
mean it.
things about me sometimes when
We
you're
don't listen to
traveling.
anybody's shit.
When you're
Yeah.
traveling out of Switzerland from time to time, because you have to. I'm really not all bad. I can be
Yeah,
a pain
but-
in the ass. You know, what do you want me
Yeah.
to say? If you've got mommy issues or money issues, likely you won't like me. Did I use my superpower of pissing people off
Yeah.
again? I didn't mean to. Thank you very much for having me, really. That was a very bad stoned heart that's being on here, but it is. It's fun. And I do these, look,
Legend.
I do podcasts. I do this.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine in America, Uptown Grow Labs, that was he did podcasts for years, and he's like, "Oh, you want to be on the podcast?" I'm like, "Okay, sure," but I had to be awake on Sunday morning at 5 a.m. You know, like
You
around
made us
when
get up
you
early
go to bed.
today.
Yeah, but I had to start fucking blazing right away.
Okay,
like
yeah.
it's like everybody's like, "Oh yeah," you know, all the way
Yeah.
from Amsterdam, and you know, I can't roll out of bed and light a joint like
Yeah.
that anymore. It's not possible.
Yeah.
No way.
You're sitting there
Cannot
for an
be
hour.
done anymore.
Mentally prepare.
Ah, man, it's like the day is wrecked
Yeah.
right away. It's like when you wake up in the morning. So, all right, with your moving woes, I'm very sorry about
Yeah.
this, but Amsterdam, as a foreigner, it doesn't matter if you've been here 30 years or 3 minutes, unless you've got $3,000 a month
Yeah.
or a horseshoe planted firmly up your, or a partner that already has a place to live.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a pain in the posterior.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I didn't have forever was a bathtub.
Oh yeah.
But I moved during the pandemic. I did. I got very lucky, and I put a bathtub in there. And why was I saying that? I was talking about a bathtub because was it about smoking in the tub?
No, you're talking about apartments, I
The
think.
fuck was I even on about there? There was a reason
on a
for it.
roll.
I wanted to say I had a.
The bathtub was the last thing you
Yeah, I
said.
was like,
Dude, I know. I don't know
That's
why. That's
trappy.
it. That's the ADHD
Yeah.
squirrel brain that went to bathtub for a reason. There was a reason there. What was it? Fuck. It won't come back to me. We were talking about
tripped me there.
gifts, and we were talking about mate. This fucking happens
About
all
you're
the
speaking
time.
about Amsterdam, about like how hard it is to
find houses
finding
and-
spots.
Before that, finding spots to yeah.
And
but
then
there
you
was
just
a
talked about a
reason
house with
for
no
it,
bath,
and then
and
I
that
was
was
thinking
it.
about moving the table. I don't know, man. The squirrel took over up there. There's nothing I can do. When the squirrel jumps through the ear and takes over, we can talk about aphantasia.
Oh, yeah,
We could
yeah.
end on not seeing
Yeah.
anything. Can't be seen.
I don't know if anyone who's watching knows what aphantasia is, but this is how I found out I had it. Somebody said to me, close your eyes and imagine an elephant. And everyone's in the room's like, yeah. And then they're like, now put a dress on the elephant. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, a dress on the elephant. They're like, now make the elephant dance. And everyone's like, okay, yeah. And everyone could see some variation, maybe it's a cartoon or something.
And you know what he was getting?
Nothing.
Bored, confused,
Yeah.
and distracted.
Yeah.
That's it.
And annoyed
because-
that everyone else was seeing something. You know what I mean? And like,
You can't
what's
explain
happening
it.
here? So basically, there's a thing called aphantasia that 1 to 3% of the population have, and we found out we both have it.
on different. Okay.
The way
you know
I
what?
describe it is, it's like you have the keyboard and the mouse, and you're doing everything on the computer, but the screen is off. So you know how to do everything, but you just can't see what you're doing.
So, okay, and
How
I'm
do I
going to
put it?
explain it a little bit differently because that sounds very complicated to me. Basically, when we close our eyes, everything disappears.
Yeah.
There is no chance of doing or seeing anything, of recollecting anything
Yeah.
visually. It is a very low percentage of the population. However,
so you can't
nothing.
recapture this table when
Nothing.
you close
I
your
shut
eyes.
my eyes. No, but here's how it goes, right? So I'm looking around this room right now, and this is an interesting thing about how we memorize things. How we go
Yeah.
through life, we memorize stuff. We don't realize we're doing it, but we've had to do it because we
Yeah.
don't remember it visually. Anyways, so right now I would shut my eyes. Everything vanished. Describe what's in front of you. Now, what I've memorized so far. There's a microphone thing here. The scruffy Irish dude is sitting to my left.
Yeah.
The sleek Irish lady with blonde everybody's got curly hair, I know that, is sitting to my right. The hedgehog is
So
on
you
the
can't
table.
see the hair, but
I
you
can't
know
see
the hair
anything.
was there.
Oops. See, and I had to open because I forgot the
Yeah.
microphone was there
But
because
that's
it was
it. You
gone.
just the hair is
So
the only thing
that
you
was
can
it. That
remember.
was it.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
And
And,
it's more
and now
from
that I
taking
opened
notes.
my eyes again, I could have been, oh, she had that little
Yeah.
little gold bindyish type thing on. I would remember that, and that the couch was orange.
Like
and that
if
there
we
were
had to go
3
to a
sticks
sketch artist
Fuck that.
for our
Couldn't do
mother,
it. No,
like
dead.
if literally
Seriously.
somebody said, "Tell me what fairy looks like," and I'm like this, it couldn't. There's
Yeah, you
nothing.
can't.
I'm like again,
Yeah.
I go blonde,
Gone.
curly
Nothing.
hair,
Yeah.
white
See?
face.
Yeah.
That's
Tall,
it. Do you know what I
skinny.
mean?
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
just
these
looked
are
to realise what
things-
colour your eyes are there. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have known before that.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
unless you print and remind yourself in a non-visual way that something, you don't remember it.
Yeah.
I can wipe. There's a movie.
Like I
there's-
couldn't see the dog in my mind.
No.
If I could.
You can't. You can't see.
Yeah,
No.
literally. I see his
Yeah,
face
like, you
all
can't see
day,
anything.
every day, and
Cannot.
nothing. you
And
know
none
what
of
I mean?
us, any of the people that I've spoken to about this, no one has figured it out until like after 30 because we don't know we're missing anything.
Yeah.
I don't know I'm missing what I
Well,
haven't seen.
It doesn't
But,
feel
like,
like we're
are
missing
we-
something. It feels
Aphantasia.
like everyone else gets to do something we don't. They're remembering stuff, and they also say when you have a loss, let's say you're
Oh, you get over it right away. Boom.
You don't
Gone.
see your
No.
loved ones when you close your
Yeah.
eyes. You don't
Yeah.
remember their moments. You remember their name.
Yeah.
You remember where you went. With
I
them.
remember how I felt
Yeah.
when my parents passed away.
Yeah.
And if I think about how I felt right now, I'd start crying.
Yeah.
But because I can't get the visual, I really would have to make the effort to think about it.
Yeah.
So it's gone, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they say if you want to heal from things like PTSD or traumas, you kind of need to play it over, but you can't do that when you
Yeah.
have this. You see
Okay.
nothing at all.
It's just the thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
more
It's
than
absolutely-
the-
Like
It's
some people
gone.
close their eyes, they just
Yeah.
see that person. They remember
Uh-huh.
that day they were out doing something. No, we just see black go in.
Which is why I remember the joints. Shiskaberry, you know what I mean? Like I remember some strange things. There was, where was I the other day? Oh yeah, with Captain Hooter. I had to pick. I got to pick. I don't know if that was the day that you were there. I think it was the time before that.
I'm not sure.
But he was judging this High Life cup, and he had a whole bunch
you had
of samples.
stuff there from that when I was
Right.
there.
No, but this was the second time. But he had a whole bunch of them there the first time, and I smelled all of them. I picked the Amnesia. Why did I pick the haze? Rather, it was
Yeah.
Why did I pick it? Because I was like, ooh, I bet if this is a Dutch cup, this is really well grown.
Yeah.
And then I mixed it up with a little bit of hash that Pyron had given me
Okay.
at the time there. And that's one of the joints of the year. I will remember that as a joint of the year, 100%.
Some big cocktails.
Some things are, and I like those. I really do like the cocktails. I love that you call them that as well, because I do. I'm like, I am going to have a tasty cocktail. They're like, we're not into drinking. And what are you talking about? I'm going to put some wheat.
We're going to get this,
and then maybe I'm going to drip just a little bit of something tasty around the edge.
You just start getting excited.
Supercharged. Remo,
add ingredients.
Remo, the urban grower, calls them. Shout out to Remo and his lighter leash, which has been stolen from me a million times. But it's. I was going to say that's a good one.
It's a pretty one.
That's a good one. These are epic little things. And plug light, because everything has to match. Even the stay calm note that I wrote myself today, because I always do that.
Can't lie, I did note that, and I love it.
I write it when I come into town. I write it. I do. This is a law of attraction.
Honestly,
stuff.
I was like,
I'm going to murder somebody. I am. I'll tell you. And again, age is mind over matter. If you don't mind, you don't matter. It doesn't matter. But what happens right now, what's going on with me, like I made a joke of 50 Shades of fucked up. Well, what I've got, some people have an angel and a devil on their shoulders. I don't have that. I have two words: homicide and suicide. And if you know me, the left side, the homicide, is definitely much more. I cannot believe how people act. I cannot. So the stay calm thing, right, is a reminder. Sometimes I write stuff on my legs underneath. I do all kinds of stuff. Really, keep myself calm. That's it. Oof.
But it is though. True. It's your little messages.
Because if something happened, I have no visual memory. I would not be able to.
No, fair.
Something happened yesterday, and
you need it there. You can't remember what was written in the closed book.
You really cannot. It's a gone thing. But we need to find more. We need to find more aphants out there. I should mention that the opposite is hyperphantasia, and that means you've got and most people. I don't know about the percentage of population for this one, but most people have got like crazy where they could just actually see a giant pink elephant
virtual reality
walk it. Basically, it would be something. You know what? I haven't put a virtual reality thing. I'm not doing it. I don't want that. The real reality is already a challenge.
It's too much.
Have you put them on? Have you done that?
I've done them with the phones and all the roller coasters.
You see the people walking around the streets in them?
No, fuck that shit.
I haven't seen that.
They're them new Google goggles or so much.
They're living life in them goggles.
Dude,
the whole metaverse.
What it all is right now is quite scary.
Can't get high in the metaverse.
Well, do you know what it is? I did. You know what? I actually bought a bunch of I bought Meta Glass Gallery and Meta Grow Shop and Meta whatever. I gave them back because I thought, fuck it. This is not going anywhere for a while. I will regret it in 10 years' time if
it doesn't cash in.
But I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the issue here is technology has taken a much farther jump than we have as a race of people.
Yeah. Every year it's taking a new leaf.
It's crazy. And you know what?
It's not every 10 years anymore.
No.
You like hearing my old school fun facts like the Fela thing? Let's go back. Let's go further back to growing up in Canada. My father worked for Environment Canada, so he worked for the government, but he was a computer guy. And in the late 70s, maybe, Canada got its first supercomputer. And the first supercomputer was going to Environment Canada because it's very important that you keep track of icebergs and the water. No, really, it was. So he was responsible for changing these giant computer rooms. They used to have punch cards. They used to have these like things that you would see literally in a Star Trek thing, right? From old school Star Trek is what was there. They had never heard of bits, megabytes, terabytes. What would never happen? But he was a project manager for changing these giant computer rooms into this one sort of piece of furniture that was the first supercomputer. And even the first supercomputer didn't have like a terabyte, a megabyte, a byte, non-existent. And that was only it was in the 70, it was maybe 40, 50 years ago. Yeah. The jump that we've made from that to, I'm very sorry we're not teleporting yet. That would have been very handy. Zap! I'm out.
Yeah, that's
boy, I would like that zap teleport out of here. Yeah. But when you think about the jump that's gone, he was so excited when Skype first came out because we could have a voice over computer and camera comment. That's what he was working on all those years ago.
I do prefer, like, as you were saying, the whole visual thing, maybe it's because of the aphantasia, but I prefer a video call to a normal call.
100%.
Or if I'm watching a podcast, even if it's just a guy sitting there like that talking, I need that. I can't just
that
listen
visual
to
connection.
you know what I mean.
You get bored.
Yeah, you know what I
do.
mean. Even if it's a guy doing nothing, once I can see something and I know that's there, and I'm not just listening to sounds, because once it sounds, my brain just doesn't do
Your brain
it.
switches off for sure.
Yeah.
And this is why you probably were you a big reader? You weren't a big
Never
reader.
read.
I was a
Never
super
read.
big reader, but I was always super excited for when. And now I understand why I was always excited when the movie for a book came out, because finally I could put the visual for what it is I read. Like
The
a book might affect
storyline,
me a little bit. I don't want to say emotionally, but the words, but the visual I would never have.
Like that, I love my superhero movies. I love sci-fi
100%.
and stuff that's
And
just
you can
crazy
watch
stuff
them
I can't
over
visual.
and over. But the thing is, do you do this? I watch movies over because every time I see it, every time I watch another Marvel movie, it's like watching it for the first time again. I remember it.
I do the whole franchise on repeat over and
listen,
over. Yeah,
you know,
I love it. It's literally like it's start again.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
that really is. Because it's like watching shit for the first time.
Yeah,
every time.
Like you
But
know
you
the story,
stored
but everything else is just you're just seeing that and you're like, oh yeah, because I can't.
get you,
And again, the more I talk to you, the more I will realise that that's why I do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure
Like,
it is. And until you start talking to people about this, because I worked with, I worked in and with a whole bunch of tattoo artists, right?
Yeah.
And artists in general, they're super, super visual. So when you try and explain this to somebody before the internet told us about this, and I was saying this to him. I remember I was 30. I was in Florida. I was talking with a friend of mine. We were talking about fantasizing. And, you know, like take a yoga class. Imagine yourself on a beach with blah, blah, blah. And I would just kind of sit there with my eyes shut.
Yeah,
going,
that's what I was.
What? You know, bored.
Yeah.
But same thing, like fantasizing with sex. You can't. You're there. You have to be there with who you're there with. You can't picture somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you can't picture anybody else. It just don't work. The
You
brain
didn't know
doesn't
that was a
do
thing.
that. Yeah, the brain doesn't do that. And it turns out my dad had it as well to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And you don't miss what you don't have.
Yeah.
Right? But again,
It's annoying that everyone else has it and you don't.
It's not though. I'm not
I find
annoyed.
it-
No,
not now.
no.
Like at first, I was like, how
No.
can everyone get to see stuff, remember stuff, and I'm just sitting here with a blank screen, like you know.
I don't
mean?
want to think
Kinda-
about it because I can't imagine
Yeah.
it. It's simple. I don't. Do you get night? Have you ever had a nightmare before?
No, I don't.
Never had
I
a
barely
nightmare.
Even dream.
We
like,
don't have nightmares. They
no.
don't. I
Sometimes
dream,
I wake up confused.
but yeah,
That's
so
kinda,
like
but
when you
no
go
nightmares.
to sleep, do you go like put your head on the pillow?
no,
Gone.
that's not me.
Well, no. Okay. In fairness, wait a second. In fairness,
I think
I fall
aphantasia
asleep
might
with the
affect this.
screen on.
Yeah.
No, I fall asleep
More
with the
just
screen
like-
on. No,
Yeah.
I fall asleep with the screen on. There's got to be something playing.
No, I'm the opposite. I have to have silence.
Oh right. No, I
Yeah.
have to have silence during the day. I never
No,
have noise
like
on.
if I have
at night,
my
I
problem
need
is
the
if I have a
noise.
TV on, I'll be too interested. I won't go to sleep. I can stay awake forever if there's something.
Yeah.
So funny.
If something's got my attention, I'm up. I roll under a joint. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to sleep. I'll stay up all night.
Have you ever done a drug like DMT?
No.
Okay, perfect. See, I won't touch that. A little
I'm
mushrooms.
nervous
between
of
friends.
doing it.
I
A lot of
would not-
people
me
have
too.
done it.
And you know why? I'm going to tell you why. You're going to love this. I'm going
This
to
is
blow your
hilarious.
mind right now. One of the reasons that I won't touch DMT is because you go into this deep visual world, which
Yeah.
is totally counterintuitive to an
Okay, it wouldn't
aphant's
even work.
brain. Well, if it
What?
did work,
It
can
would
you
blow
imagine
your
if
mind.
it could? It would short circuit because all of us. No, I don't want to touch that stuff.
just-
No way.
that's-
Have you done DMT? You've done DMT
Yeah.
before, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a
Well,
minute. What am I even
didn't
asking?
I didn't go through. I
My point is,
I
it's
have,
a
yeah.
very visual
Did you
thing.
get any kind of visuals?
So
a
you-
little bit.
I did visuals, but in like
Not
light
to the universe.
mushroom
Yeah, yeah,
sense,
yeah.
As
Right.
in everything just felt
But like that's what I've
flowy
done
and
mushrooms
buzz.
and like
And
I
as
have
soon
my
as
eyes
you
open.
close your eyes,
yeah, that's it.
you stop tripping.
Like we
People
done it-
don't understand that.
Like, see the way all her clothes have all mad patterns. We did
Yeah.
it before, and she'd
This is
blankets
my
on top of
everything.
beds, and I'm like that, and I couldn't tell where one pattern ended
No,
and
because
the
it was
other and
breathing.
stuff. And
Your
it was
clothes
just
were breathing.
Yeah.
The surfaces
yeah, it was just
were
all
breathing.
bleeding into each
Right.
other, this lines, and I was like, what the fuck?
And then
But
you
once I
shut
closed
your
my
eyes, gone. I
there's
can
nothing
fall
there.
asleep, like really. It's like, okay,
No,
that's been a
I-
fun
Oh, I
trip.
nearly
Night,
need
night,
to
gone.
keep my eyes
No.
open.
No.
Once they
No,
close,
it
I
is. It's
see
really
them.
funny.
Oh.
Yeah, so you
It
see more
explains
shit when you
loads.
close your
Oh,
eyes.
man.
100%.
Yeah.
People see
Yeah,
mad
that's
stuff, and I'm
crazy,
just
man.
like, we don't see it.
So
we
jealous.
really don't.
No,
I
I
know.
It's
well,
odd. You know, it's a
No,
it's a
yeah,
catch.
no, it is. It's a catch 32.
It's
Yeah.
a catch
Definitely.
22 because
13.
I've been
Say 33. It's the
super.
coffee shop.
Well,
It's a lucky lad.
what? You know what? That's a bad thing. I mean, it's not like I haven't known the Colada boys for 10 years
Yeah.
from Barcelona, but I haven't been in.
We had
to the-
Jackie on
I
as well.
haven't either. So
you
we're
know
in
what,
the
maybe
same
we
boat.
should maybe we should do
Yeah,
that.
we had
when-
Jackie on the
Yeah.
show before as
Did
well.
you have Jackie?
Yeah.
Did
No,
you
he's
understand?
so
Jackie?
good. Jackie's a
Yeah,
legend.
Jackie Rabbit.
Yeah.
I'll make a song for you. I'm a big famous rap star. Yeah.
But no, and he's good. He came
He is,
straight
I'm
in
sure.
with a community attitude.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look,
Straight
and the
in.
thing is,
Yeah.
and,
So
and I'm sorry.
slapping
Big love
myself
for
as
Jackie,
well.
yeah.
But the
Just
thing
chaos.
is, look, the boys I make fun of, but what they've done over the years and
Yeah.
what they've contributed, you
It's a
know,
lot.
is a big deal, and they love their cannabis.
Yeah,
and
the whole
and I've
scene
got
and the
really
community and all,
absolutely, it's
yeah,
big
for
up
sure.
on
Because
the,
even like the way you're even saying about the social clubs in Spain, like
Oh,
a
yeah,
little bit
that's what
back,
we were wait a minute.
they're real
Wait,
passionate
wait.
about helping people.
Yeah.
Like I remember when they were on, they're like, if you want to do a podcast, or if you
Yeah.
want to do a session, you just come in. They're like, yeah, what
Real
time?
welcome.
Come on down,
They're meant to be
Len,
really
100%.
cool in that way.
And the whatchamacallit.
so I feel like they're trying to bring a sense of that here.
The Spanish vibes,
yeah, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
nice.
The thing is, it's nice,
Yeah.
but you cannot make Latin people into Dutch people or clout chasing tourists. You
Yeah.
cannot do that.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
not
have
gonna
that
be- you
club
can't have
vibe in a busy
won't.
city. It
Because
is
you were-
quieter where people have time to chill.
Maybe.
This you need a turnover
Yeah.
in
No,
Amsterdam.
but I think it's the same. When I came here first, all I saw was the coffee shops.
Yeah.
I didn't know any
How
of
old
this
were
was
you
happening.
when you came
Yeah.
to Amsterdam
First time 18. As soon as I turned 18, I went by myself.
That was it. You were
I was
you were
hooked.
out. And
I
first,
wanted
how
it
old,
well
okay, wait a minute.
before
Hold
then.
on. First joint
Oh.
age, not what it was.
Like
it
it
would've
wouldn't have been my first time. First toke.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
like
First time you tried weed.
15.
Okay,
probably.
and 15, and the first time that you rolled your own joint, that you were just like, okay, I like this, I'm going to do this.
17.
Okay.
I'd
And
say I
same
was
question.
13 and I was probably rolling by 14 or 15.
Ooh, that's young.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I was drinking from 12, so.
Yeah, I
it's-
was going to say, hold on, I was going to say
Yeah,
now.
no, see, we started smoking cigarettes. And
Alcohol's the
drinking-
gateway
And-
drug,
but
you
for
know what I
sure it
mean?
is. And here's
Whereas if I had started smoking, I probably never would have
Yeah.
drank at all.
gateway
Whereas now
dr-
I don't
Alcohol's
drink.
the gateway
We
drug.
only smoke.
So you know what? Because I've never overindulged in any of the other stuff, right? It's a little wine or beer until you got proper sick when I was 14. But
And then it's
the first weekend that I did drugs, I want to say that I dropped a hit of acid the first
Okay.
night, and then we smoked a joint the second night. It was the experimental weekend. So actually, acid was the gateway
So,
to
acid,
weed.
you don't acid before you done anything.
I did. 100%. That was the first
Wow.
one, the first day. And it wasn't like a super visual thing, but
But
I
just
understand
acid is
it now.
extreme for some people. Like, it's. In my world, they went.
I did
alcohol.
acid at Disney World.
No,
mate.
but no,
that
to
was fun.
start
And
before you
extreme.
never had a. You had
Yeah,
a
but we were
beer.
doing no, we had yeah. Of course,
Oh,
I had
okay.
13. I came home from a drama cast party,
Yeah.
kind of drunk at 13. They made punch with wine,
Yeah.
and cucumbers in it, and that was the first time that I had a drink. And then because my family they were not drinkers. My dad
Yeah.
smoked. But not cannabis. My Uncle Lionel, with the straight up vodka in one hand and the hash joint in the other hand. Lionel was cool. Lionel was crazy. But I didn't come from a household where that would have been normal.
Yeah.
It would have been flagged. It would have been seen and flagged. But at 15, it was like, right, we're going away for the weekend. My cousin had a flat in Montreal, and me and a gal pal were going there. We had this all planned. We were staying there on our own. And the first night we were going to do acid, and the second night we were going to roll a joint. Yeah. Or we had gotten there.
I love that
and-
rolling
But
a
it's
joint
kind
is
of a nice
planned.
way
like-
though,
Yeah,
because it's like a
100%.
Yeah.
That's it. We're like, well, fuck it. We're going to do drugs this weekend.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't
go
matter. Where are
hard
we
and
going to
then
start?
start
Let's
with
do the
acid
acid
is-
tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I do.
Well, how old? 15?
15.
Okay.
But
yeah.
it was. I want to say it was marginally right before 16. Was it 15?
Like by 15,
Yeah.
I was getting
15.
served in pubs in Ireland.
No.
I was
We had
getting-
fake ID. We were
Yeah.
buying wine.
I
and
didn't
we
even
were
have a
getting
fake
into
ID. It was me and my
Yeah,
friends
I
always
was.
looked older. And we in Ireland didn't give a shit.
Mm.
Well, I knew pubs that would serve kids in their school uniforms. They'd leave school for the day, go on the Mitch or whatever you call it, and
where
fucking
in Ireland was this?
Dublin.
Okay, so you guys are both
all
from
over.
Dublin, yeah.
Nah, but I had listen. I
Down
had
the country, it's even worse.
I had
Yeah.
someone
Fucking
from. How about
They don't even
Listowel?
know
Age
the
10,
school.
they're driving
You
their
know,
tractors
that's
down
it,
the
they're
road and
driving
having
all
a
over
pint.
the
You know what I
place.
mean?
100%, it is.
Well, maybe
It
not
doesn't
anymore,
matter
but back in the
you're-
day.
how you're raised. Like I'm telling you, when you're coming from suburban Montreal or
Yeah.
Ottawa, I'd gone to private schools. I came from a modest. What is that?
Builders outside.
Oh, right, okay. I was like, is that one
We're
of
not gonna
us?
explode.
No, but I came from education was quite good up until we moved from Montreal to Ottawa, and that eliminated French. Wait, where were we going? Right, but everything was very suburban.
Yeah.
You didn't have this, like, the kids, we'd get together and have some drinks. They were all into sniffing glue, man.
Okay,
They were all
yeah.
into, no, not glue, cooking spray, Pam.
What?
So, yeah, there's cooking spray. You would never do
That's
that in
mental.
Ireland, right?
No.
Cooking spray, that's terrible. You put butter in the pan. I've been to the Butter Museum in Cork, as a matter of fact. There is a butter museum in Cork.
I'd say that's riveting
I have
stuff
been there.
in there.
Yes, I have been there.
Jesus.
But you'd have this
Want a
this
joint
stuff. It's
for
called
that.
Pam cooking spray, right? And you would spray the Pam. I would not. Into like a Ziploc bag.
And then breathe
you
it
would
in like
huff-
paint
I
or
didn't do
glue
that
and
stuff.
shit.
I would not do that.
And then
That's
Americans are all into their pharmaceutical
Dude,
drugs. and all,
you know what? But
it's-
pharmaceutical drugs have got a time and a place, which is not this podcast. And again, everything.
For us, it was always
here.
just illegal stuff. That's
Well,
what
what I do is I encourage people to practice SAM, substance abuse management. We're not saying don't abuse the substances. We're saying manage how you do it. So, which means you can
Take
you can
drugs
always
responsibly.
do one of everything, right? So
Yeah.
as long as you're not doing 10 pills and 20 drinks, well, again,
Everything
and that's
in
why you can't do
moderation.
them anymore.
See,
And I
this is-
can.
Well, it's not, I just done them all. You know what I
But
mean?
this is
Like
it. We didn't have that growing up in
between
Canada.
12
There was
and
no,
20, I
there
done my
was
drinking, and
but
then my
there was
20s
none
done my
of the- We
drugs.
did not grow up with this even as an option.
Yeah.
It was one of those, somebody's got mushrooms, somebody's got mushrooms, really, and then it wouldn't happen
Yeah.
until it did happen. So there was a little bit more experimentation at 16 because nothing was
It was like
available.
a
You
moment.
could not
Yeah.
get anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah,
It wasn't
for us, it's
available.
everywhere.
You had all of it, but this is a different time as
Yeah.
well. These are different decades.
Yeah.
This is the 80s in Canada. Come
Yeah.
on. If you listen to 80s music, I love it. The
Well,
rest
like,
of it went
drugs
along
are
with
so available now. Like
We didn't have that.
everything
None of
growing
it.
up. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It was
Yeah.
like if I went to house parties, 90% of people at the house party were doing cocaine or ecstasy, as well as drinking and smoking. That was a given. The drinking and smoking is
That was just
standard.
normal.
But I'd say there might be 5 people out of 30 maybe that weren't doing harder drugs.
Dude.
And this is every session in every town. You know what I mean?
The first time I
It's
even
heavy,
touched
it's hard.
ecstasy
Yeah.
was at an underground rave in London, in
Nice.
East London, in 1992, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I was fresh off the plane.
Was that the
from
same year as
Canada.
Trip to Tip?
It was exactly that. It was
Fucking
a
hell,
party.
you
It
had
was
some
fucking
year,
it was
that
serious
fucking
year,
year.
mate. But I'd never. So I got off the plane in February. I do. There's some things I remember. February 2nd, 2000.
I remember dates as well.
1992,
Dates I went
right?
to
Yeah.
Australia,
Remember
America.
you're good with
100%.
that.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
numbers,
Yeah.
numbers don't lie, mates. You don't.
Yeah.
You're there,
Yeah.
and you don't have to look at them.
That's it,
But
you don't
I
need a
got
picture.
on that plane,
Yeah.
and I landed on February 2nd. 2 weeks later, the only person I knew in Europe was a dude I had met in Canada,
Yeah.
visiting his cousin, who I was staying with in his flat share. Where was that? In East London. That's right. And then they took me to this rave, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, in an abandoned underground
Jesus.
car
Sounds
park.
like a fun place
And this
to
was the
go.
first time I did ecstasy, and I was 22 at the time.
Yeah.
I thought after I did this, I was like, ooh, good thing I didn't find this younger.
Yeah.
I'd have done a lot more of this.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I found that at that age and did a
100%.
lot more of
You
it.
did,
then.
but you would have
Because
found
you
it
think you're
during puberty,
invincible.
right?
Yeah.
We had weed.
Oh, I
and-
know a lot of people that was a young person's
That's
drug.
it.
For me,
Fuck no.
like doing it in your 20s, like that's something you do when you're 15, 16. That was the Irish attitude. Ecstasy is something you get out of your system when you're a teenager. Then when you're in your
Ecstasy
20s,
is something
you
that
move
in the
on to
right
cocaine, the adult
circumstances,
drug.
I'm right back fucking on it. And if somebody says, "Do you want to?" and it's the right situation, 100%.
Like I've said,
1000%.
like some of the greatest feelings I've ever had is on ecstasy or MDMA. There's nothing to compare to that. If you get that
in the
rush,
name.
like it's,
I don't like the
yeah.
rush. The rush leads to vomiting.
I
We
get
don't
sick
like
every
that.
time.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
time.
I
don't
right?
come-
It's
I
like
don't
a
come
mirror
up.
here.
I don't come up
No,
till I
it
get sick.
is.
Well,
I'm
right,
loving
and
this.
I
for
get
me,
sick and then come back
I
like
got
that.
sick a couple of times, and I thought, no, this will not do. I am not practicing SAM,
no.
substance abuse management.
Yeah.
Figure it
No,
out.
I figured
so
out
I
that's
started
how I get higher.
microdosing. No, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
But I started microdosing with it. So I would have a sippy cup full of water and crystals in it, and then I would go quarter by quarter with the pills. People are like, how did you? That's horrible stuff. I'm like, man, I'm from fucking Amsterdam. Yeah, you can still get the cleanest whatever here. You can still get them. They're still findable. And why would I'm not going to do shitty drugs? Why would I
used
do
to start
shitty
with
drugs?
2 and then fucking.
No, I don't want to throw.
My tolerance for everything was always too high. I needed
This is it,
so
you
much of
practice
everything.
substance abuse.
Just to feel like the person who done half, I need to take 6. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair.
I'm going to say part of it has to do with how the aphant's brain is wired.
Yeah,
it
maybe.
really is.
held me back
we
all
have
my
to
life.
start talking.
I can't take
It cost me so much. I gave up drinking because I couldn't get drunk. I was going to spend a fortune.
That's
and
very
I
sad.
was a sober person
Why don't
carrying
you
everyone
start?
home.
Apparently, you can get like super rushes from running marathons. Maybe you should train.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll all train for a
Yeah.
marathon.
Stay tuned for now. A Canada marathon.
The cat. Well,
26
don't
meters
kid
instead of
yourself,
26
that's
miles.
But we don't have to do 26 miles.
26 meters.
You could no 26 meters. Come on. We could do
From
a
each
half.
coffee
no.
shop.
Yeah.
Oh, that
we could do
rounders
an
game.
eighth. No, but if we did an 8th marathon, what would that be? Hold on.
Well, 420 kilometers. Or no, 400,
You're going more.
420 meters.
Or that rounders
420
game
meters
when
or
you run with the
420
bars.
420 meters
What's-
is nothing.
what's
mate. I walk
5K?
like.
That's like a
What's the
sprint.
5K? 4,200 instead of 5K.
I think we
4,000.
should double it. I think there should be like I think it should be like more like a 84.
Well, 5K is like the
14.2.
kind of
No.
the average
14.2.
man's
So you go
marathon.
for
You know what I mean?
Nah,
Like,
you can do.
so
no,
we
you
say
can
we'll do the
more than that.
420.
We could totally do. Okay, you know what? You want to plan something? Let's do it. Let's do a canna stroll, but we'll do it out of the set. Why don't we do this
Speed walking.
during the summer? No, but there's look. So I moved here. We'll talk about the moving again. I moved from the middle of the center to the east of Amsterdam, where it's a lot more open and a lot more whatever. But I have discovered by going further east, I have found less people, which is a good thing.
Yeah, always a bonus.
There's some really cool places. We could totally do that, and nobody would give a fuck if we were smoking.
Yeah.
And like you could get a considerable amount of people together. Why not?
Like a stoner sports day.
You know, well, I was going to say I don't know if I would use the word
Javelins and all.
sports. Stoner stroll day. Like we could do a stoner stroll. What are we doing? Well, we're all meeting there and going for a walk. Well, what are we going to do? Well, you can take edibles, you can have dabs, and as long as we're not disturbing the public order wherever we are, so as long as there's no kids around, because I got a real problem with consuming cannabis in front of people that are under 18.
Yeah.
I know you guys all did it younger. It doesn't make me comfortable. I don't want to do it. That's
No,
that.
but now
know,
we smoked younger, but
difference.
we now don't smoke in front of
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
so
Oh no,
that's,
we're we
that's
say
good
that
to
to
hear.
tourists.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, "Can you smoke everywhere?" Yeah, except
No.
in front of schools or playgrounds.
Yeah.
and just be respectful of families.
Yeah,
You have to.
yeah,
I
of
think
course.
if you don't, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of
It
people
should
that
be
are
just
assholes.
common sense, but you have to remember
again,
people
common sense is out the window.
Yeah,
It's
tell me
2024. You've
about
got a
that.
smartphone. You don't need common
Yeah.
sense. You don't have to
Don't
learn
say
anything
that.
anymore. The phone tells you everything.
Yeah.
But why don't we do that? Let's do that. We could
Yeah.
do that this summer for
I used
sure.
to
Yeah.
love. That's what I did
Yeah.
the first time I came to Amsterdam. I walked kilometers.
I still do.
We'll get
I
people
don't do as much
comment
as I
if you
should.
want to go for a.
Yeah, I was
You
going to
wanna
say
go
I don't
on
know
a
where anybody
float?
who would want to do a walk.
Who
with
would
That's
us.
do
it.
a
Comment
walk?
in the section, in the comment section, if
we
you
can
want
bring
to
a
do it.
stretcher. You know, we can bring
Once
some
I bring the
extra
dog,
things.
I'll be
You
all
can-
right.
I
I'll
was going to say
survive.
you have a
Don't
dog
worry,
with
yeah.
you. The dog will keep you going.
Yeah.
Odin, do you want to go for a WA? I better not
Why'd
say
you,
it.
why'd you think he's whinging over there?
Yeah.
We'll stop at like terraces along the way.
Well, during the pandemic, I did a King's Day cancelled hop
With
Pat-
Patrick from Hologram.
Yeah, and we stopped. I can show you
Reel.
we did 20 different stops. We went to all the coffee. We went to every
Everywhere
single
was
coffee
closed,
shop. We
like-
were smoking. Yeah, no, it was really cool. So we did that in town because it was King's Day was canceled. There was
Yeah.
nobody here. It was awesome. I
Yeah,
was so
it was-
happy during the pandemic. I'm sorry for saying
No,
that.
it was.
I was so
Yeah.
happy.
It was quite surreal walking through it.
I
with
loved
nothing.
it.
It was like a
Yeah.
movie set.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
What they did for the remembrance thing, they shut the damn.
I heard it was closed. I was working. I didn't see it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Normally they pack the square full, but they didn't pack the square full this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
They said they were
On
going to
purpose.
they said 10,000 tickets, or you had to register, not get tickets. But anyways,
Yeah.
they shut it down. Everything around it, the city in that area around Dam Square, was like a ghost town. They were just afraid somebody was going to do something
Yeah.
stupid. You know, like, and somebody might nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
stuff.
Show me on the television.
Yeah.
Make me famous.
That's it, quick
I'm
fame.
going to be an ass because this isn't right. Nothing is right at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not right. Is it right? It's not
No,
right.
never is.
It just isn't at the moment.
I'm trying to
absolutely
block
isn't.
it out.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
stay focused on my tribe.
do you
That's
have
it.
anything that you want to add? Do you have anything that you want to ask? Because you said, well, we're not going to prepare anything. I'm like, well, I wrote some stuff down. Do you have anything that you want to ask me or that you
Well,
want
sure.
to, you
Well,
know?
what else are
like-
you thinking with the Seshsational?
Well, the Seshsational thing is a long, slow kind of. It could be an epic, monumental platform. It
Yeah.
could, but like with anything, people have, good on you for getting a podcast sorted and produced. Mara, you should do a podcast. Oh, you'd be awesome. You should do your own show. You should have your own show and blah, blah, blah. You haven't seen me with Trappy on my hand. I can't do it with Odin in the house, but I will show you. The thing is, gone. No, Seshsational. We're back to that. There's a million things that I can do, but without a team, without some sort of support, without doing it with people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You need it.
And
You
there is
need it.
way too much. Guilty. Totally guilty. I love it. I'm a total attention whore. But that is hopefully to entertain and make people smile or think or... or get annoyed or whatever the case is, right? We want to end. We want to live because there's so much content out there, and adding to the content is sometimes taxing. But the concept of Seshsational is not everybody is Seshsational. You could be Seshsational, but you'd have to do some good stuff in between all the ungood stuff. You'd have to have like some really good products as opposed to, why is this product Seshsational? Why is it? I keep testing 1, 2, 3. Am I still here?
Yeah,
I am not
gotcha.
here. So for now, I'm using
not
it as
here.
I'm not here. No one is here. I'm using it as a little bit of a collective to promote other things,
Nice.
especially at the shows, and we'll see how this year goes. But if it's not generating, it needs to start generating a
And
little
that's
bit more.
a page in itself. I'll put that at the bottom too.
So I haven't really been doing anything with it. Oh, don't
Okay.
get me started on how evil social media is.
Oh, no,
right?
it's that. I'm
It is
shadow
it's super.
banned
It
and
is,
stuff.
are you? I'm not. No,
It's
I'm not.
overwhelming.
I'm not. But I use it, and I used it. I had an Instagram account originally because of Absinthe. It was a business thing,
Yeah.
right? But slowly it morphed into, wait, how are you going to sell more bags? Well, you need to connect with more people. How are you going to connect with more people? Then the page got a little bit more personal and, bag lady this, and don't call me that anymore, please. It's triggery. But it sort of evolved into something that was a little bit more personal, and I get to do legit super cool stuff.
Yeah.
I do. I'm blessed, right? Absolutely blessed.
You live the
I've
life you
gotten to
deserve. You know what I
blaze.
mean? You
Well,
work towards this.
as challenging as but I have nothing. Hold on a second. It's all image crafting, right? The thing is, in between all the what the fuck am I going to do with this, with that, with the other thing. In the middle of it all, I get to do really cool stuff, and I do them. It's very easy to do when you don't have pets or family. Done. No partner, no pets, no people. That's it. You can do whatever you want. I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. Bye bye. Pet. What was it again? It was
Pets, people, and
what was the third one? No, pets, plan, people. No, that's not right. Pets, partner, people.
Yeah,
no.
partners and people.
There's partner, partner.
because the partner is direct, the people is just general.
Yeah,
so,
but you know what I mean. Like I'm just like, okay, where are we going? Fine, wonderful. I can do that. And off we go.
Yeah.
So when I say I was super happy during the pandemic, there was nothing to do, nobody to see, nobody really was there. It was great.
You didn't feel guilty.
You know what? No. Things got worse. And one of the things that I said during the pandemic is, oh wait, this is nothing. Wait till you see the repercussions in a few years, right? So the repercussions in a few years, like 2023, that was a much rougher year for me than 2020 was.
I
can
enjoyed
promise
the
you
lockdown
that.
really before more than after.
Yeah, I was.
It did. I think it fucked a lot of people coming out of it.
For sure.
More.
For
Because you
sure.
adjusted to this kind of nice, comfortable, slow
You
lifestyle,
can
which our
handle
bodies
stuff,
are actually meant for. We're not meant for this fucking 9 to 5 chaotic
Yeah.
shit.
No, we're not meant for that. We're
Humans
not
are
meant.
meant
Well, we're not meant for all the screens. We're not. Everybody's in a rush.
That
Fuck
it's
off.
the,
Within
like,
a rush.
right
That's
before
what it's
Yeah.
a rush.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
That
It's my turn.
instant.
Me. Get out of my way. Bigger, better, faster, more.
Show me now. You
I
know what
don't
mean?
take my bicycle into town anymore. It's a shitty old rickety green rust bucket rally thing. It's parked at Amstel Station, and I'll take a metro in and walk back to Amstel, and I'll pick it up there because even out in the east, it's busy with the big fat. But there's 12-year-olds that they don't know anything about traffic. They know video games and they know go faster.
Yeah, GTA.
It's scary. Yeah. So we want to organize a little stroll in the thing. We can totally do that.
Yeah.
You want to raise some money, fine. It's. I was going to say, here's what we do. You're good. You can get money off people, but we'll do a stroll and we'll say, it's like a tenner a person. We'll see. I'm sure you can find somebody to give us something to give away,
100%.
and then we'll give the money to the
everyone that makes it to the final.
We can totally do that.
That would be beautiful.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be loads of
I'd be
fun.
down for that.
Yeah, totally down for that. Let's do
The
that.
weather getting good
Isn't it
enough.
fun?
Yes.
Well, you know what?
Come on,
Look,
we're going
we'll
the
pick a
flow.
day where it's not raining, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we're going to get something that's okay. Anytime's fine.
Yeah.
How about that?
So
A good idea? You like that?
Yeah.
No,
Wonderful.
honestly.
Yeah.
We're going on strolls.
But this is what I want.
Yeah.
I want more
It's
stuff
hard to do.
happening. It is hard to do.
Here's the thing.
Stoners are awkward.
I was gonna say, it's
I'm
hurting
a lazy
cats.
bitch as well sometimes. But you have
Everybody
to push.
is gung socialism.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in real life.
Yeah.
Could
It's
work.
all great on
It's good
paper.
on paper, but
Yeah.
you should have warned me about the sticker. I feel bad now.
No, we'll get it
It would have been
again.
a big one. I'd have
I'm
covered
sure it won't be the
something
last time we see you. But the
No,
dog's
I would hope
moaning,
not.
so I think we
I
might have
know.
to
I was
leave it
going to say, I don't
there.
even know how long we've been at this.
Oh,
but
probably like
thank
2
you.
hours at this stage.
Well,
so,
you
perfect.
said an hour and a half.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
it was a
it'll
great
be
chat
longer
for
than
sure.
that.
It was
That was
good
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have you on
super fun.
again.
So
This is super
Yeah.
chill.
if you're still watching, thank you so much. Thanks to Mara.
Honestly,
Down by
Shout
the graph,
out, shout out
Ferry.
to
Seshsational,
and shout out to
Bling
Bling your bud.
Bling Your Bud.
Yep.
Legends.
Thanks
Yep.
to the fairy as always.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate
Listen,
your
this
time.
is great.
If
Awesome.
you're
Thank
still
you for
watching,
having
like
me.
and subscribe
Awesome.
and all that
Like and
bullshit.
subscribe and blah 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 and blah
Yeah.
blah blah and
Thank you so much.
It's
We must do it
pleasure.
again sometime.
yeah,
for
we
sure.
should. Awesome.
Legends.